all alone.
You rockin' with beats, discussing the heat in the streets. Take over the west and the east. I got what you need, a dose of this vitamin G. You rockin' with beats, discussing the heat in the streets. Take over the west and the east. I got what you need, a dose of this vitamin G. You rockin' with beats, discussing the heat in the streets. Take over the west and the east. I got what you need, a dose of this vitamin G. Rockin' with beats, discussing the heat in the streets. I got what you need, a dose of this vitamin G. You rockin' with beats, discussing the heat in the streets. I got what you need, a dose of this vitamin G. You rockin' with beats, discussing the heat in the streets. Take over the west and the east. I got what you need, a dose of this vitamin G. Vitamin G. Vitamin G. Got what you need.
I'm on the outside looking in, and I wanna be back on the inside. I don't wanna be left on the outside, all alone.
Vitamin G. Got what you need. Vitamin G. Got what you need.
All alone.
Vitamin G. Discussing that heat in the street. Hey, we got just what you need on Vitamin G. You rockin' with beats, discussing the heat in the streets. Take over the west and the east. I got what you need, a dose of this vitamin G. You rockin' with beats, discussing the heat in the streets. Take over the west and the east. I got what you need, a dose of this vitamin G. You rockin' with beats, discussing the heat in the streets. Take over the west and the east. I got what you need, a dose of this vitamin G. Rockin' with beats, discussing the heat in the streets. I got what you need, a dose of this vitamin G. You rockin' with beats, discussing the heat in the streets. Got what you need, a dose of this vitamin G. You rockin' with beats, discussing the heat in the streets. Take over the west and the east. I got what you need, a dose of this vitamin G. Vitamin G.
I'm on the outside looking in, and I wanna be back on the inside. I don't wanna be left on the outside, all alone. All alone. I'm on the outside looking in, and I wanna be back on the inside. I don't wanna be left on the outside, all alone.
Vitamin G. Got what you need. Vitamin G. Got
All
what you need.
alone.
Vitamin G. Hey. You rockin' with beats, discussing the heat in the streets. Take over the west and the east. I got what you need, a dose of this vitamin G. You rockin' with beats, discussing the heat in the streets. Take over the west and the east. I got what you need, a dose of this vitamin G. You rockin' with beats, discussing the heat in the streets. Take over the west and the east. I got what you need, a dose of this vitamin G. Rockin' with beats, discussing the heat in the streets. I got what you need, a dose of this vitamin G. You rockin' with beats, discussing the heat in the streets. I got what you need, a dose of this vitamin G. You rockin' with beats, discussing the heat in the streets. Take over the west and the east. I got what you need, a dose of this vitamin G. Vitamin G. Vitamin G. Got what you need.
I'm on the outside looking in, and I wanna be back on the inside. I don't wanna be left on the outside, all alone.
Vitamin G. Got what you need. Vitamin G. Got what you need.
All alone.
Vitamin G. Final round. I already know how I'm coming, man. Yeah. Tryna run the town. Tell no duck when they hear that sound. How they gon' come up now? heavy as the head that'll wear that crown. I'm going pound for pound. And if it's about smoke, then we talk all of that. From an ounce to a pound, take it, they biting this now. Cause my drip right out the seat, how could they be? Give me a couple of rounds, cause I'm a beast when I'm on vitamin G. You see they start crumbling now, mad struck start mumbling now. Get the gist, I ain't reaching for clout. Plot twist, I'm the one with the keys. Clock glitz, know they look how I freeze. Different continents, I be torn. We living life, making yours look boring. See we win at the end, it's a spoiler warning. Cause I keep heating up, I might blow the whole planet. They calling me toxic like global warming. But they keep tuning in once again and again. I'm the one at the top, just to form a warning. Truly, I'm De Niro when it come to movies. Get De Niro, entertain the groupies. Habanero if you come pursue me. But I hop on the game, too busy rolled up whenever my girl getting moody. Link up with the gang, we all go insane. Catching them bills on the duty. I'm in Stixie, I'm locked in. Bought a box, I was like 10. Back then, used to box, nowadays they ain't throwing hands. Mama said we got more advanced. One thing about me, I adapt, bought a Glock fin. Keep me safe from the block in. The game kept me off the block. Ain't got flex about looting my Ruger. I can shit on you with my computer. See my graphics card costs more than your damn job can afford to pay you. And my monitor, big as hell, detail, so I can see when I spray you. To reload the clip and record the clip is go all say to that SSD. Know a whole lot of trill game heads like me wanna see tuned into that VGP.
Take over the west and the east. Hey, we got just what you need on Vitamin G.
What's going on YouTube? How y'all doing? It's your boy Dante Crisis back with your weekly dose of Vitamin G on the Vitamin G Gaming Podcast. And with me is these guys. So anyway, I couldn't think of anything clever to say. I'm not. It's been one of those weeks, so I couldn't really think of anything clever to say. So I'll just throw to Kofi, who was actually the first one here. For fuck's sake, what the hell, Kofi? It's a strange day for you to be first, so you can go first on the introductions.
Absolutely, man. Great here. Great to be here on the panel with everybody as usual. And yeah, what have I been playing? I've been doubling down on being a level 5 fanboy, playing Ni no Kuni Remastered on PS5, and well, of course, it's a PS4 version. And then playing Danbou Senki W on my Vita. And both are really great. Obviously, I've never played Danbou Senki. I don't even want to spoil the story yet because I'm not far enough into even what's going on. But it does have an overall Pokemon type feel where basically each character has their own robot mech that they can fight with. It's very customizable. Every mech that you equip can have a shield, like you get left arm, right arm equipment, and you can add a firearm or more melee weapons. So I can have like a rifle, I can switch to my like shield and sword. They've got double spear. You've got this whole customization part where like you go into the motherboard of your mech and like you can boost certain stats, and it's like one of those space maps, like managing your guns in Resident Evil 4. So you can like add like like a processor that allows you to have like faster cooldown times or something like that.
I'm sorry, what game is this again?
This is called Danbou Senki. It never got localized. Okay. It's like level 5's entry. Okay, the series was on PSP and 3DS before this game, but it was remastered on Vita. Has like full anime cutscenes. Like I was like overwhelmed. I'm like, this is another cutscene at this quality. Fully voice acted, but it literally shows that their new PS4 game, which I also own by the way, Megaton Musashi, why that game is so good. It's because Level 5 has been doing mech combat games for 10 years. This is like their 6th iteration of mech combat. But I haven't touched Megaton Musashi beyond the demo yet. It's all Level 5 all day at this point for me.
Enough. Strange, we've both been playing a mech game recently. That's because like what you were mentioning just sounds eerily similar to the game I've been playing, but I'll save that for mine. Going up, Zero. What have you been up to, my friend?
What is going on, good people? One thing and one thing only, and that is Pokemon Arceus. What a absolutely gem and delightful game. Jube's not here, so he can't join me in sort of.
Oh no,
there he is. Sorry, I'm looking at the wrong thing.
I've been here, bro.
Then I like, what a goddamn game! Finally, is this Game Freak?
Yeah,
It is Game
Okay.
must be.
Yeah. Finally, Game Freak like sort of got it right. Like it just nails everything. And I really think the Monster Hunter format works so well for Pokemon.
You had me.
I don't know why.
Pokemon. You had me already. Monster Hunter meets Pokemon.
Yeah, because it's not.
for sure.
I think people wanted like an open world Pokemon that could still probably do, but let's be honest, Game Freak does like always the bare minimum. So they found the other way out by making the world different in the same way that Monster Hunter is. Monster is not one big seamless world. It's just places you jump into, and then it's a sort of living world. I won't go too deep into it. I know Jube's got its stuff. My only complaint: it is not a good-looking game.
Yeah.
And
Watch out!
In fairness,
People are gonna be mad at you for that comment.
in fairness, fucking Pokemon Let's Go, Eevee and Pikachu wasn't the best looking fucking game ever either. Fuck,
would argue.
Neither is Shimigami Tensei 5.
I would argue that
Now-
Let's Go looks better than
I have a
Arceus.
question.
Hmm?
Is Pokemon owned by Nintendo or is it owned by Game Freak?
Okay, they
It
own a
always confuses
share.
me.
Yes,
It's three of them:
yes, there is
Nintendo.
3.
Game Freak and the Creature Company.
Yes.
All of them collectively own Pokemon
It's
as a whole.
It's a freeway split.
Yeah.
It's
So
like I want to see like some like Pokemon VR. Like I just want to know like what's the if there's any possibility we see it on a different platform one day, like kind of expanded platform.
Listen, if I can't get my Yu-Gi-Oh VR game where I can be in a VR and it looks like I'm actually holding a fucking dual deck and play cards and I see big giant holograms of the monsters from the cards. If I can't have that, you can't have VR Pokemon.
the challenge I think that's always been with Pokemon is like every once in a while they let other people do it, and so what happens is like we all know how Nintendo operates. Like if we're not doing it, then we have no interest in continuing to do it. So Pokemon Snap was a great example. People wanted Pokemon Snap for years, but the company that made Pokemon Snap just didn't exist anymore. And Nintendo or Game Freak and Creature Company had no interest in redoing it, at least until fairly recently. So it's just like it's perfectly licensable to almost everything. There's Pokemon Snap 2 could have easily been in VR and would have been a wonderful probably experience.
Pokemon is one of those few things that is, in my opinion, is malleable to damn near every genre out there.
Yeah,
I mean
one of the
thing
largest
is, like,
entertainment brands. Yeah.
We say that it's licensable to everything, but we just haven't seen it expand. And it's like a game that like would benefit such greatly from expansion. Like we saw what happened when that little Pokemon Go app on the phone came out, and we saw like how much revenue that generated for whoever owned that. Like that shit
whoever.
went bonkers.
I really think
went
it's the
bonkers.
Nintendo problem. Like, I think they have a hard time, like, particularly when it comes to Pokemon, staying on the path. Like, their own Pokken was fairly good, showed up at Evos and such. Like, pretty solid fighter.
Pokken look kind of solid. Yeah.
It is.
We probably won't see Pokken anymore. And it's like, why wouldn't you just continue to do that? Pokemon Unite. I mean, and Smash is there, but like Pokken could exist right alongside with it, or Unite, which is fine. But Unite will probably just disappear into the shadows after a while, and we won't hear from it again. Snap, that will probably be the last Snap we get in a long time. And my biggest worry is that they're going to do this to Arceus as well, because Arceus is not a mainline Pokemon game.
Yeah, I feel like Pokemon is such a great franchise, but I kind of feel like at this point it's almost outgrowing the platform that it's on, and there's so much you could do with it.
I wouldn't say it's outgrown the platform. It's outgrown its own goddamn fucking staple. Like, how many times are we gonna have a game that is pretty much 1-to-1 like Pokemon Red and Blue, where you go around, collect Pokemon, fight Team Rocket a bunch of times, try and get all the badges, the fucking end. Because, I mean, the only two games I could think of that weren't entirely like that were the GameCube ones. Pokemon, one of them was Gale of Darkness. Well, it actually had a story.
Yeah.
Oh.
I mean, I feel like there's like so much more you could do with it though. Like there's updates to the battle system. Like you could have like you could add like in like some limit breaks for the Pokemon where you unleash their most powerful move. I mean, there's just
they kind of did that though.
This is Nintendo we're talking about. The bare minimum is what you're gonna get.
They kind of did that though with Let's Go with the XY evolutions
and Dynamax in Sword and Shield.
But I agree. I agree with Nate though. Where my Pokemon MMO at? Because that's a license to put print money.
Yeah, but I'm just saying that exactly MMO. I mean, there's so many opportunities to expand, and it kind of feels like the Switch kind of holds it back a little bit right now.
Well, because people bought the fucking Switch OLED, who already owned a Switch, we're not going to get a more powerful Switch anytime soon. Thanks, Jubei. Thanks, Zero.
Hey, I didn't buy the OLED yet.
Hey, I needed it. I had the first generation of Switch that came out. I was tired of that battery dying, bro. I wanted to get the next one to get a better battery, and I just got the OLED. So, it's fine. It lasts longer than the OG Switch I had, so that's a dub. I can play Pokemon for like 6, almost 7 hours before it's dead. So
anyway,
I'll take
please,
that.
Zero, finish off your intro, please.
So yeah, I mean, I agree with all you guys' points about Pokemon. I just think there are some concessions. What I do wish about Arceus is that it looked better. Got to remember, Breath of the Wild came out 4 years ago, and looks absolutely fantastic. This does not, and it's like I would love if the Breath of the Wild devs got their hand on Pokemon.
It might be my final thought. That might be a concession on like size and and obviously the Switch itself not being powerful enough to add more graphics, because the scale of it, when you increase scale, you need to decrease other things in order to make the scale bigger.
Agreed. I personally think that the Zelda devs are kind of wizards because they always show up on the Nintendo systems that they're on.
Just
even Wind
imagine,
Waker was a gorgeous game for GameCube. And a major step up from like Twilight Princess, I think. That is basically it.
Wild devs. We get Breath of the Wild devs to make a Pokemon VR MMO.
My only ask from them, listen, I don't mind you making a world this big, but please don't make it so fucking empty. Because that's
Can you imagine the amount of like
they
have the amount of shit we would talk to each other in the Pokemon VR MMO? Walking through.
But I think Empty World Problems is a unique Pokemon problem because there's so many of them. Like in Monster Hunter, the world does not feel empty; it feels lived in. But half of the monsters that exist there, I don't particularly care about. Only the larger ones. Whereas like every monster in Pokemon is a Pokemon, so like objectively, I would care about it.
See, that was my problem with Breath of the Wild. Is like I understood the slight story reason, but there was just like there was nothing.
It was empty as hell.
I'm hoping Breath of the Wild 2 adds more villages and like some towns in Hyrule, so it feels like this place looks like it's recovered and lived in now, and not look like a virus has wiped out all of humanity. Hello, topical. Hello, Corona.
Also, like, and this is just a minor. I guess I feel dumb, and I don't know why it never connected for me.
No, Zero. Don't feel dumb. You are dumb.
I mean, I just might be. I never connected that Xenogears are made by the same people who are currently making what is it, Xenoblade
Monolith
Chronicles?
Soft. Yeah, they broke
I
out of
did not.
Squaresoft.
I did not know that. I've read a whole or listened to a whole history about the Xeno series and how like the guy didn't really care for Final Fantasy VII and like he wanted to get away. But it never dawned on me that like Faye and Shulk have like a direct line.
Speaking of direct
Crazy.
line, hey Pharaoh, I need a direct line to your intro, please.
What's going on, guys? Your boy Pharaoh. What I've been doing this week? I've been messing around with a bunch of games. Spider-Man, been playing that about 70% through. Scarlet Nexus, I finished all the missions except the master level missions because I don't think my level's high enough yet. I'm like at level 63. And the last matches I did, the bosses were level 80. So I'll just play through the story a little bit more, level up a bit more, and then do that.
Is the story amazing?
Scarlet Nexus? It is it's a good story. I won't say it's amazing. But I do think it's very good. I think in order for me to like really give you that answer, I think I have to finish it with both characters. But finishing it with the second character should be a lot faster. But yeah, Kasane and Yuito have different stories. They break off at a certain point, and there's stuff that you don't get without playing both to make the whole story complete. But it is intriguing. It is a pretty good story. I look forward to finishing it. I got a little tired. I was playing it. What was it, Saturday or Sunday? And I'm at all the Bond episodes. So like, there's like these episodes where you bond with each of the characters on your team. And I had like a Bond episode with every character on my team now. And I think I have like 10. I think it's like 10 people on your team. So I was like, I didn't feel like doing through. So I did like a couple Bond episodes, and that was like the last thing I did before I stopped playing it this weekend.
Pretty cool.
A lot of fun then. Alright, Omar, what have you been up to, my man? Did you? You been?
I'm here, sorry.
Ow!
I had
Destiny
to,
2 now.
Ow!
I had to pretend.
Mm.
Oh, sorry. Oh, shit. Sorry about that. I had to do something. I'm back. If you still have your ears, correctly, I finished Guardian of the Galaxy. Loved it. Few gripes. I wish they went the Spider-Man route and had your custom had different abilities. That would have been way better and way more exciting when you find your custom. Other than that, way too few skills. Like, come on. The game is great, but give me more skills. I don't think Guardian has so few skills. And other than that is... Sorry?
We're just about to say, well, I mean, you are only playing as Peter Quill, Star-Lord, and...
No, you're playing as everyone. You can control everyone, just not move with them, but they have different skills. They have all three skills.
Well, even then, the Guardians, like, in fairness, sorry to interrupt, it's just like, with the Guardians, like, comic book-wise, none of them are... They have a unique characteristic, but none of them are, like, fantastically spectacular, do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I understand. Other than that, I started Godfall and dropped it.
It fell. Godfall lived up to its name because it fell from your fucking interest pretty fucking quick.
No, mostly because as much as I enjoy the combat, the game flat out disrespected me. Here is how. They incite you to explore, but they don't have a map. And they have this ability that you can see through almost like a radar. You need to press a button, but you need to keep doing it constantly because if you don't, it's not gonna show up on your screen.
Oh fuck! That reminds me. That reminds me of the Oh, sorry. That reminds me of the fucking playing Days Gone on survival mode, where the only time the fucking map comes up is when you are scanning with your instincts. Oh.
This is so abysmal because you need these collectibles in order to create new characters. Which, again, that's a good thing if collecting was fun, but it's not. I was literally pressing the left, what's called, the left tab, every 2-3 seconds. I'm not exaggerating. That's how abysmal it became. To the point like if they had that button as an R3 or L3, at least it would have been way better instead of to literally I would be able to move and press it at the same time. But because it's in a different awkward position, I need to stop walking, dude. I need to stand still, press the thing, and then move. It's so that almost made me rage quit. But what actually made me rage quit is they give you the ability to teleport. Sound nice, right? Only this teleport was a one-way teleporter. I had no idea. I spent more than 30-40 minutes trying to collect treasures and stuff like that. And I came, and I'm like, okay, let's go, let's get back to the main road then. And I'm like, why can't I teleport back? You are allowing me to explore, yet I am not allowed to teleport back. And if you need to start, you're gonna need to start from the beginning of the chapter. There is no save point. There is no ability to teleport from where you started and continue. I'm like, fuck this game. I'm gonna play an actual great game, which I started Near Replicant, and I'm having a blast.
So basically, just said, Omar, thank you, fuck you, bye.
I gave up on it. I'm so glad I didn't spend any single dime on this game. I would have refunded. That's how it's disrespectful the amount of stuff that they are lacking. But they did two things good: the combat and the fact that you can respect your skills for free. Like that's amazing. But when the entire foundation is not only lacking, it's basically brain dead. Like you're disrespecting me. You don't have a map. It's abysmal. But yeah, no. Near Replicant is amazing. The music is amazing. Almost every single character is voice acted. Like that surprised the hell out of me. Including the villagers, which again surprised the hell out of me. And the combat is fun, and I'm having a blast. Other than that, yeah, that's it.
I don't know, but while you're describing it, even if I got it for free, I'd still ask for a refund. I'd want that time back. Jube, throwing up that smile. How are you? What have you been up to?
I am good. Like Zero, I have been playing a shit ton of Pokemon. Most fun I've had since Silver, to be honest. It's a lot of fun. And I will second his opinion that it is ugly. Like it just is. Like that, like there are some World of Warcraft trees from 2004.
That OLED screen not helping.
No, it's not. And it's on Game Freak. They're fucking lazy. We've seen some pretty some pretty good looking games, animations being super low in the background aside, but like these trees, I'm like, you watch an entire forest basically just come up in front of you while you're fucking walking. Like it's bad.
I'd agree. Some of that might be on Game Freak, but I am also putting that down to the hardware as well, because I've noticed there is some ugly ugly fucking texture popping in Shin Megami Tensei 5 and some severe fucking frame rate cuts at short distance. To give you an example, actually, because Kofi will know what I'm talking about. Kofi, you know Legion? The Demon Legion?
Remind me.
Looks like it looks like Thanos' ball sack.
Okay, I gotta look it up because some of these, I've only played the Japanese imports, so sometimes I don't,
just if you look up Legion, Jubei, look up Legion, you'll also see what I mean. Just look up Persona Shin Megami Tensei 5 Legion. Yeah, there's such bad texture popping with Shin Megami Tensei 5 that Legion looks like a fucking burn victim.
Yeah, Legion.
Oh God.
Does he still have physical reflect? He was an OG.
No,
man.
he doesn't have physical reflex. But
wait, does he have magic reflect?
Nope. Imagine that design, but all smoothed out and looking like a burnt victim. That's how bad the fucking texture popping is for Shin Megami Tensei 5.
Legion's
why are you
OG,
playing?
man?
Why are you playing this man's life?
So, does anyone know that if playing these games on an emulator on your PC eliminates a lot of these issues?
I could give it a fucking try. My PC is good enough to run Citrus.
We know, Dante, that you don't do things like that. You are completely ethical.
What? Oh fuck no! I've said no. I've said no.
There's no reason for Nintendo to send their lawyers to your door.
No, I'll freely fucking admit it. I play games on emulator. My thing is though, I make sure I own the game first on emulator. On physical. That's why I turned around and said when I heard about the fucking 4K 60 Metroid Dread, I was like, I won't emulate it. I'll buy it first and then emulate it because then I won't feel as bad. Because then you've already got my fucking money. So fuck you about telling me how I should or should not play this fucking game. So anyway, sorry, Jubei. Ugly textures.
Yeah.
World of Warcraft trees.
Yeah, bro. This is 3DS textures. It's bad.
Damn.
Like, come on. It like literally like if you've played like Pokemon X and Y on a 3DS, that's what the fuck this shit looks like 99% of the time. The visuals aside though, like that's like the one thing Game Freak just needs to fix for their next game. Because gameplay wise, this shit is so fucking fun. Like you can sit there and you don't necessarily have to battle everything. You can just throw Pokeballs at it and catch it. You get XP.
You don't have to weaken things to catch them.
You like in some situations, no. Like if you get like a back attack on them, like you sneak up on them and throw a Pokeball at their back, that actually increases your catch chance without you actually having to battle. So there's things like that, and then there's Pokemon you just can't catch that way that you do have to battle. So that whole loop still applies. Weaken, debuff, throw a Pokeball. But the option for like some of the smaller Pokemon, you have to collect a fuck ton of Pokemon and use them in order to complete the Pokédex. Like it's not as simple as you caught it, it fills in the entry. Like you have to catch it like multiple times. Ooh. You have to see certain moves. Like
Jubei's 1,000%. Like I think it's the first time the Pokédex actually ever mattered.
Yeah, it's not about gems. It's not about. It's like the Pokédex is the star of the show. Collecting Pokemon is the star of the show.
I would agree if that didn't sound arduous to sell. I'd agree if just hear me out. If it wasn't for Pokemon that have already existed in the lore for fucking years, you'd have I'm assuming say a Pikachu, you'd have to catch it multiple times to fill out the Pokédex, right?
Nope. So you can go. There's different tiers. Like that's one way. If you want to catch 25 Pikachu to complete that entry, you can do that. If you want to catch 2 Pikachu, battle it 5 times and then use Thundershock like 4 times, that'll complete the entry too. Like you don't have to sit there and catch a fuck ton of times.
See,
there's ways to not make it as tedious.
Right, that still sounds tedious to me. Now, just hear me out, and you'll understand. Hopefully, everybody can follow where I'm going with this. That kind of system would make more sense if they with this game were launching brand new Pokemon. Like if this game was the debut for a whole new laundry list of Pokemon. So for older gen ones like a Pikachu, they've existed forever. So the Pokédex should automatically be able to have that.
in the context of the game, though, you're like 1,000 years in the past from the Sinnoh region.
Right. Okay.
You are
making
the very first Pokedex in existence. You are creating that.
Right.
Everything
context.
from that, like Professor Oak's Pokedex, like it's all based on the first Pokedex in existence. That's why it's so tedious. It's that's their reasoning behind it.
Okay, no, then that's perfectly fine for me. I just need a reason for the tedium for it to not come off as tedious. Now that I know it's 1,000 years before Oak, that makes perfect sense.
Yeah, like this is a world where like people are like terrified of Pokemon. Like they don't know what to fucking do. You know what I'm saying? It's like, oh look, like it's like a little bird Pokemon. It's not really, but they're fucking terrified of it.
Yeah, it's rare for people to have 6 Pokemon on a team, like because most people can barely handle one.
Yeah, exactly. So like it's just a time where like Pokemon is still
wild,
new. Yeah, they're still very much wild. Like, and you're kind of helping in the system of how can we domesticate these and kind of merge humans and Pokemon together to not have that fear.
Not helping Pokemon with the Peter argument that Pokemon is just about slavery. Like, what the fuck?
No.
That's not helping.
So Junpei's the only one on the panel with the Switch OLED, right?
Yeah,
I believe so. I think so.
So I just want to ask, how does it feel to pay more money to see bad graphics more clearly?
I mean, it's cool. I'm having fun with the game. I do want to say Amadeus in the chat. Yes, that fucking Bidoof is fucking huge.
Oh yeah, the giant Bidoof. Yeah.
So
that is a cool part. That is a cool part of the new game though. Like they give the Pokemon better scale.
Yeah, so you can catch like alpha versions of Pokemon that are like way bigger, have completely different movesets. You can also change your moves. So say your Pokemon, you forget moves. You know the whole thing with Pokemon. You learn new moves, you forget them, you can't get them back. This, you can literally interchange the moves that you've learned in the past, and you can bring them back if you want to. So
nice!
That is brilliant.
Really
about
dope.
time.
It has this really dope thing, like you can literally have the same Pokemon, but your team will play out different based on the moves that you choose, and you can switch the moves at any time from the menu.
Holy shit!
It's really good.
Jesus Christ!
Yeah, and I'm like, why is that a thing? Like, why have I been limited to like I have to fucking sit here and delete a move and only have 4? Like,
or then go back to the guide to remember the moves.
The fact that we've been playing with only 4 moves since like 1995 is like the worst thing ever.
Exactly, because I mean, at that point, like, hey, if you're gonna go on attack on like a catch bench, like, hey, that tackle move you forgot, it's probably gonna be helpful with catching weaker Pokemon.
So let me just switch that out.
Yeah, exactly. And then like you switch it for the situation. And catching alpha Pokemon is hard and really fun. I caught that Snorlax that's been making the rounds that was fucking up old boys Oshawott with the Hyper Beam. I caught that.
I'm sorry, no, back up. No, rolling tape. Roll back. Did you just say a Snorlax had a fucking Hyper Beam?
Yes, a wild Snorlax. Dude threw out an Oshawott, and the Snorlax immediately just used Hyper Beam on it and killed it.
Yeah. Also, the Pokemon can attack you.
Yeah, so, they can hit you. You like it doesn't. You can actually retreat from every fight and run away. But if you get damaged enough, you'll pass out and drop your satchel, and you have to go back out and get it.
So what if you retreat and leave your Pokemon while it's getting his ass whooped?
They normally come back with you.
Yeah, they're gonna come back with you. But I mean, what's up?
I have a question. Am I the only one that thinks that they looked at the mini game that you play in the Safari Zone and they created a game around it?
I would say that Sword and Shield did that. Yeah,
Sword and Shield did that. Yeah, I mean this is like I said, it's a little bit different because you can like lure. It's mixing parts of Pokemon Go. Like you can lure shit. You can like literally distract it so you can behind it and get advantage if you're going to battle it. Because if you throw your Pokemon at its back, you can stun it for a couple of turns and use it. Like it's completely different. Like we haven't had something like that.
When you say sneak attack, all I can see in my head visualize is you throw a Pokeball, it's back in the fucking Skyrim, sneak meter goes up and reaches 100. That's all I
wish it was like that, but I wouldn't have been able to catch that So the Snorlax, the first Snorlax you run into is like level 45. I ran into him like my Pokemon are like 20 something. So the only reason I caught him is because I got a sneak attack on him and then paralyzed him and wore him down and then caught him.
Y'all can hear.
And you got them at
Didn't
level
do that,
45?
I wouldn't have had. What's up?
You got them at level 45?
He was in the field as a level 45. Yeah. So I couldn't. I got him and I couldn't use him because I didn't have the the whole proprietary. You have to have this many things in order for Pokemon of this level to listen to you. So he had to sit on the bench for a minute, but I'm at the point where I can use him now.
I'm fucking sure he brought the.
By the way, 1 second, Dante. Am I the only one that's hearing almost like a background audio?
That's fair.
Yeah.
Okay.
Fair.
It's me.
Yes.
Yeah. There you go.
My thing isn't even lighting up.
It's gone.
Brother.
It's gone. It's no longer here.
For now.
Yeah, I'm not even lighting up on the Discord. That's why I'm surprised.
It was lighting up. That's
Gotcha.
the thing for us.
Yeah, we can see it. If you haven't had fun and like this whole, if you didn't like Sword, Shield, and shit, I absolutely recommend going to get Legends Arceus because it's really good, and just the change on the formula just makes playing Pokemon
Now
fun
it
again.
came back. The audio. It came back. Yeah, it's from your end, Pharaoh.
Arceus, isn't he?
Alright.
Isn't he the god of Pokemon? Like, isn't he like the
Yes,
the
he is.
Alpha and Omega?
Yeah.
I wonder what his play. Oh, no, I wonder what he's gonna be like in the game though for you guys. Like, not it's a battle, but like story wise, what's his play in the story?
Well, he gives you a phone.
I'm sorry, no, wait, what? No, I'm sorry. The god of all Pokemon, the literal fucking creator of the goddamn Pokemon as we know it, and I believe also can control time, hands you a goddamn cellular phone is like, call me later.
Yep.
Pretty much.
Yeah, for
Pretty
the most
much.
part. It's isekai. Like your character is not from this time. You just fall through a portal one day, and they're like, weird. Anyway, like, you want to come help us catch Pokemon?
They're like, what is it? They're looking at your outfit like, what are those? And like,
What are those?
And then he whips out the Arceus phone, and they're like, that's weird. Anyway, let's go catch some more Pokemon.
That's a new,
So basically, like, basically it's like Inuyasha, but like
yeah, pretty much.
the other way
Pretty
around.
much.
It's like Inuyasha, but the other way around. Like,
Yes, Inuyasha.
I mean, no.
Inuyasha,
you're
he went back
right.
in time.
Yeah,
Inuyasha.
you're pretty much Kagome hopping out the well. You're pretty much Kagome hopping out the well, and everything is like, oh, what's this? But
By
yeah,
the way,
and
Pharaoh,
I also
you hop out the well, you know what everything is, and you just like bitch smacking Pokemon when they're like, oh, you're not supposed to do that. We're scared of them.
yeah, you're from a time where you know what Pokemon are exactly.
God damn it.
So
I wish I had.
That-
I wish
that's-
I had the.
I'm gonna teach you how to make Pokemon slaves.
Damn it! Oh,
that's accurate. That is 100%
but
accurate.
that Inuyasha goddamn reference, though, I gotta give like respect plus to Pharaoh for that one. I was not expecting an Inuyasha reference.
I also like the design of like the actual Pokeballs. Like when you when you catch one, you get like the little stars that say you caught it. Like you get like a little firework that shoots out of the top. It's like super steampunky. Like when you catch something, like shoots out of the top, and it's like that's like an indication that can also startle other Pokemon that are in the field. So you have to be careful when you're doing that.
Nice.
So, it's a great time. It's a super great time.
I'm glad to hear it. I might need to give it a look. As for me, I have been diving into games just to get my mind off of things. So I've been hitting a couple of the comfort games. Persona 5 I was playing again. There's a Persona in Persona 5 which completely breaks the game, and it's a world Arcana. Trying to remember which one it is. But yeah, I've been playing that in my comfort zone. Then I got back into my streaming. I played some what was I? Yeah, some Kingdom Hearts. I have a question. How many people here have played and beaten Kingdom Hearts on the panel?
I haven't beat 3 yet.
Okay, right. But you know Kingdom Hearts.
Please 1, 2, and 3.
Okay,
and,
right. So the fucking Ice Titan.
I didn't fuck with
this. Is KH1. This is KH1, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Them Coliseum battles are gonna, bro. Wait. Just wait. That's not even the worst one.
No, I know.
Just wait.
No, I've already got to Sephiroth. I know he's gonna whoop my ass. He already did.
Oh, yeah, he's gonna fuck you up, bro.
He already did. He already did.
Throw your controller.
I've had to get some more levels in my free time because I was like, I ain't gonna beat him at level fucking 70 or whatever. But my point.
Get You need Lucky Chance also. You need.
I have Lucky Chance.
Absolutely required.
I have a number of the Keyblades, but my point is the Ice Titan. Okay, I don't know. I was definitely level 60 or something going into the fight with that dude. I got a question. Am I just wrong, or is he ridiculously fucking RNG heavy? Because
no.
Really, because it fucking felt like it. Because he throws a lot of. Because he uses in that fight, I noticed a couple of things. One, the first, he does a lot of baiting. Like there's certain attacks where you have to send the icicles back to him, but they're so scattered out that there's no point in sending them back because you're just going to get hit by the one behind it, or you're going to get hit by the attack that he's going to do afterwards, which is either erupt the ground up with ice below you, which that is randomized because it doesn't follow any singular pattern. The only ones you can safely send back to him are the ones that he fires in a straight line. Especially with guard, which is the only way to goddamn do it safely. Then comes the whole goddamn bullshit with that third phase where he's firing those and dropping the ice on top of your head while also making ice erupt from the fucking ground. Like that whole fucking fight is a perpetual fucking shit in motion going down a goddamn hill. I hated that fight. I hated how fucking RNG that fight fucking was. I hate that fucking Ice Titan. I was fucking glad when I caught on to the goddamn Phantom's goddamn weakness goddamn quickly because I beat him on my 4th attempt because I just kept running out of fucking MP. Fucking Donald being useless as a motherfucker. Seriously, fuck Donald Duck in that game. Donald Duck is an asshole. I don't care if he gets better.
Like you need to grind some levels.
I'm level 80 odd now, so I think I'm set for now. Sephiroth I knew was going to kick my ass, but I ain't gonna lie though, his entrance and also hearing his theme kicking, it was like, oh, now I understand what they mean when they say, why do I hear boss music? I understand now.
Dante, Donald's got to conserve MP. He can't use it freely on you. He got to hold that for when shit get tight.
Do you want to know the problem?
That's true.
Hold on, Zero. Do you want to know the problem? The motherfucker don't even use his magic.
He got to hold on to. He got to conserve him.
No, he don't use nothing. He running up on a motherfucker trying to beat him over the head with a staff, and I'm like, Donald, you useless sack of wank. Stop! You're getting us killed. He's always. I guarantee. Going into battle, there are a couple of guarantees. One. The boss, in any fight, there's a couple of guarantees. One, there's going to be a lot of fucking green orbs falling. Two, I'm going to whack some motherfucker over the head with a big giant blunt instrument. And three, Donald will most likely be the first one down. Those are the three guarantees in every fucking fight I've been in. But
Sephiroth is way more RNG than the Ice Titan, though. I will tell you that there will be times where, start of the fight, he's going to use that ultimate move and just wipe you out. And there's not really much you can do about it.
Oh, I know. I've already had a few attempts at Sephiroth. I know he likes spamming that goddamn fucking. I know he doesn't let you anywhere close because as soon as you get anywhere close to him, immediately 3 fucking pillars of fucking fire right up the jacks, up the fucking tank.
And Sin Harvest, you have to have that skill that always leaves you with 1 HP. If you take like a critical hit, and you have to heal like immediately afterwards.
It's just. Also, the fact that summons are disabled. That's... Oh, fuck me.
Yeah, this is not a Kingdom Hearts 1 issue. Kingdom Hearts 2 have also a lot of issues with the buttons.
I mean,
and stuff.
I blitzed the shit out of Sephiroth in Kingdom Hearts 2. It took 1 attempt. I fucked his ass right on up by the time I got to him.
Like I
had no issues with any of like the optional bosses in Kingdom Hearts 2. Kingdom Hearts 1 I felt was way harder.
Yeah, and I'm playing on Final Mix. So I'm not playing on. I'm not playing on crowd.
That makes it more difficult anyway. Yeah, that makes it more difficult anyway.
Yeah, well, like I said, but like here's the worst thing. I stumbled upon Kirks at level 43, I think. And I did beat him. It took me an hour, but I finally beat the fucker, which apparently, from everything I researched, the recommended level for Kirks is 70. And I'm like, oh, okay. But, like, Kirks at least had a goddamn pattern. Like, you kind of got an idea of what he was going to do. Even if he did interchange, you knew how to dodge what was coming. The Phantom, similar goddamn deal. Like, you know what's going on. The Ice Titan, you don't know what the fuck's coming because it's all fucking random. Like, he could do one of 5 goddamn attacks. And by the end of it, I kid you not, by the end of that at the end of that final phase, I was just like, fuck this. I just started tanking every shot, hoping that I could send something back to that fucker's face because it turned into a bullet hell game. I fucking hated the Ice Titan. The only thing with Sephiroth that I'm majorly worried about is that fucker's reach, because they really emphasize how long that fucking sword is in that fight. Like, that fucker got reach. No, but seriously, at the end of the day, fuck Donald Duck. Fucker left Sora for dead, and then immediately said, friendship! And I'm immediately like, get the fuck out of my face, you fucking poultry!
Don't worry about it. N3 doesn't change, so good luck.
Oh, great!
He's literally terrible the entire time.
He's an asshole, right? Okay, gotcha. Because I love Goofy.
We should if you look up any gameplay for a hard boss fight, you're gonna see both Goofy and Donald dead. You on your own, dude.
Goofy! No, that's the thing. That's the worst thing. Goofy has been an absolute goddamn unit this entire playthrough. This entire playthrough, Goofy has been the clutch one.
Yeah, you're lucky. Sometimes he's hit and miss.
Like Amadeus.
He typically lasts longer. He definitely lasts longer than Donald. But you're gonna run into an issue where you're gonna be solving these problems yourself.
Oh no! Yeah. But like I said, Joster, Amadeus, and Mitch, they've all seen a lot of my Kingdom Hearts streams. They will attest. Goofy has been a fucking unit this entire time, like a true fucking teammate. Donald, on the other hand, has been nothing but a goddamn liability. Now I understand why some men call their women ball and chains, because that's how Donald feels to me. Just a fucking anchor dragging me down in the ocean. Also, 100 acre wood. Holy goddamn, did I loved it. Like that brought back my childhood. Fucking Pooh Bear.
Did you beat that that monster with the saw blade and almost not saw blade? He is from the Aladdin, but he.
Oh, I know who you're talking about. Fuck that guy.
Who?
Fuck that guy.
He is RNG based. He can one shot you. He is one of the worst.
Wait, who? Like, remind me, because I think I faced nearly every super boss. I think Dark Bastion is the only one I'm missing, and Sephiroth.
He's like a big boss that uses almost like a twin blade.
Kirks! Yeah, that's Kirks!
I don't know what his name is, but...
in the desert, in Alabama. Not Alabama, in Agrabah.
He is in the desert, but he is also in the arena. You fight him in the arena. When you fight this dude in the arena, you're fucked. He is RNG based, he can one shot you, he is horrible. Horrible.
I'm trying to think who you're on about, because you're definitely not talking about Kirks, because Kirks you fight in Agrabah as a super boss. I've not faced him in the arena, and I've gotten to Sephiroth at this point. And I've not faced him again, unless he was removed for 1.5. But I'm assuming, Jubei, you're now looking this up to see who he's talking about.
I'm trying to think.
Because, like, Kirks I've only fought once, because you're on about the dude, he turns into a fucking fucking Beyblade. He just floats in the air and just starts spinning. Yeah, you don't fight Kirks.
No, that is Kurt. That's Kurt Ziza. Yeah, that's Kurt.
Yeah, that's Kurt Ziza. You don't fight him in the arena.
You do. This is why I got stuck. In the arena, you fight him.
Were you playing original or were you playing 1.5?
No, he only shows up in the arena in Final Mix.
1.5 Final Mix.
Dude, I played that and I've not faced him.
Yeah, this is him. Good. Yeah, he is abysmal. He is in the arena. Oh boy, he
when in the arena? Because like I said, I've done all of the cups right up to Sephiroth, and I've not faced him again.
I really don't know, but he is in the arena.
Fair enough.
I remember.
I'm not. It's not that I don't disbelieve you. It's just like I've gotten to Sephiroth, and
you want to know what?
Yeah, the only two boss I've refaced was Cerberus, Squeak, Cloud, and Yuffie. They're the only ones I've only faced again.
Yeah, from what I can see, it's like he doesn't show up in the arena, but you have to go back to Agrabah to fight him.
And I fought him in Agrabah. I've already beat him in Agrabah.
He was tough though.
Oh no, Kirk's was tough, but my point is he wasn't as RNG heavy as the fucking Ice Titan, which is the end point. Anyway, going back to...
Okay, so it is in Agrabah, it's not in the arena.
Yeah, I didn't think so. Because you don't, like I said, you don't fight him in the arena again. It's just in Agrabah. I do
remember him fighting one-on-one, that's why... I said
Donald and Goofy just got wiped early, which is pretty much my experience. Actually, no, Goofy fucking came in solid there. Anyway, the other game I've also been playing, and Kofi, if you remember, I was playing a mech game myself that sounded similar to what you were talking about. I've been playing Demon X Machina because it's free on Epic, and I did a video on it a while ago saying. This game looks really good. My problem is I hate the fact that it looks like the frame rate gets cut in half most of the damn time. They fuck for PC because the game's really fun when you've got solid 60 frames per second. I'd recommend if you have an Epic Store account, download it and play it. You are literally wasting nothing but your time and maybe a small fraction of your soul. But it can be fun. And it's a multiplayer game, so you can play with friends.
You know what's crazy, Dante?
Go on.
They still list Ice Titan as like the easiest of the optional bosses. You just have to know how to beat him.
I figured out how to beat him. It was to send the goddamn ice shards back to him.
Yeah, but like it's movement. Like if you get like the whole boulder shit, if you jump, you're fucked. You're gonna get hit by it. You can't jump.
I wasn't the one where he drops them. I wasn't jumping. I was fucking dodging.
You gotta like run in circles. Like you gotta. He's easy to cheese. But
did you
feel you though?
Did you beat the boss in what's called the Peter
the Phantom? Yes. He was easy. I beat him on my 4th attempt, but the only reason it took me 4 attempts is because my dumbass keeps running out of MP.
There is also another boss that is super
in the Dark Bastion. I know.
Okay.
In the Dark Bastion, but from what I've been told, and this was because I've been telling people, this has been like the worst thing. My enjoyment of this game has been slightly killed by people keep fucking telling me how to play the game. It's like, bitch, let me play. If there's some things that just need to be explained, just tell me. Like, for example, I wouldn't have found out that to get to the Dark Bastion, you need to get close to the end boss and then literally fucking leave and then go back to the Dark Bastion to face the super boss. Anyway, so yeah, Demon X Machina, and I've also been playing Crusader Kings free.
I saw that. I saw you on there today.
Yeah, Crusader Kings free is a hell of a lot of fun. I think it's discounted. FC should definitely go and buy it. The game where it's a meme when you turn around and say, incest is OP. As sick as that is, it's fucking weird. This game is very weird. Currently, I have a mod. This is what's awesome about this game. This game is very open to mods, and I currently have a mod that is called Vampires and Lycanthropes, meaning vampires, werewolves, hybrids, and slayers are added into the game, and you can go through the game. You can play an entire thing as a vampire or such. It's great because you literally
that's a dope mod.
Yeah,
that's dope.
Yeah, hold on. I'll actually show you. Give me a sec. I'm gonna bring it up on the stream. So look at the video, guys. Like here's my character currently. I'm so vain. I called him Yard Dante Crisis. Of Chrysia, sorry, because my world is called Chrysia. It's fucking awesome. But yeah, there it is. I'm currently playing as a higher hybrid. And effectively, you're actually immortal. You are actually fucking immortal. No switching over to players. So you gotta play good, but I'm effectively immortal. And I was debating, because I was gonna start as the Norse mythology, or in the Norse lands, in Sweden and stuff like that. I was debating, do I go hybrid or do I go really typical and do I go as a Lycan? And I decided, hybrid's good enough. But they interestingly wove it into a lot of things, because starting off the bat, because you can reform religions. If you start at a certain point, you can reform a religion. So the religion I'm a part of is the Astro, which is the Norse faith. Now, the problem is, if you actually go down here, this is interesting for the mod as well. Vampirism, lycanthropy, and hybrids are all shunned. So I've got to keep myself secret, otherwise I risk being shunned by my own fucking people, subjects, and religion. So if I want to change that, I've got to work towards reforming the religion so they accept my kind. That's fucking in depth, isn't it?
Yeah, that's a nice little twist.
So
on top of like playing the game, which is deep.
Oh yeah, well, I mean, it's as deep as you want it to be. You can either work as an alliance, or you can just be a straight conqueror like I am. I mean, for fuck's sake, this is I'm at 874 AD. I started at 13. It's only been 5 years, and I already own this much of Scandinavia.
Nice.
Everything you see as Chrysia, that land belongs to me.
By the way, are we gonna cover a little bit how Troy Baker
no, we're not.
gave up on NFT?
No, we're not. We'll talk about that another time.
He only gave up because people told him to go fuck himself.
Pretty goddamn much. I like Troy Baker. He seems like a wonderful person, but that just seemed like an uneducated guess. But what I want to talk about real quick, this is going to be a real quick thing. I just want first impressions, and I'll have it on screen. If I have to fucking blur this out like I did last time, I will fucking do it. Because I had to do it when I showed the Thunderdome. But hopefully, Paramount Plus aren't assholes.
WWE?
No, first thoughts on the Halo TV show, if anybody saw the trailer. I'll give my quick thoughts real quick. Like I said, just quick thoughts. I think visually, this looks amazing. I think Chief looks fucking incredible. I think everything looks how it should. Definitely. My problem, hell, it's not even the original voice, but the dude, it sounds good for the voice. My problem starts pretty much immediately when you notice, why the fuck is there a human working with the Covenant when they specifically made sure humans did not join because they were the when they were the Forerunners' favorites in their eyes. Why would a human be working with them? That makes no sense to me. I'm glad that they didn't fuck with the elites. The elites look pretty good. I'll admit that. My only other problem is it feels like they're humanizing Chief way too fucking quickly. Like, I'm glad they're finally humanizing Chief. Like, they started that in 4. But, like, I don't get why we're immediately jumping into we're humanizing him. I think Cortana looks fine. Perfectly serviceable. It looks like they're going more, 4 and 5 and Infinite. When it comes to the fact that she doesn't look like light, she looks more like a solid projection than light projection, if that makes sense. But yeah, I think visually fucking 10 on 10, because clearly that's also a red squad. Blue team, sorry. The other sparrings we see is clearly blue team. So that I like, because I think I mentioned this about 5 or Infinite, that I wish there was more about Chief's time with blue team when he led it. So yeah. Anybody else got Jube? You're a Halo guy here. What were your thoughts when you saw the trailer?
I thought the trailer was dope. Like, I mean, we obviously got to see more than just the trailer because that could just be the best bits, and this show's garbage.
Yeah.
But I mean, I'm excited. I'm actually excited to see what they do with it. It's got to be better than the other shit that they tried to release and pass off as a series that you had to watch in like Halo Waypoint and shit.
Oh, right. I thought you were on about Forward Unto Dawn, which I thought was decent.
No, Forward Unto Dawn as a movie was great, but I'm talking about the little mini series that they tried to do like with 5, that you had to watch in the Waypoint app.
Fair enough.
Which I just did not like it.
Kind of like the Resident Evil show was kind of like in the right direction, but wasn't all that they released this summer.
Oh, that fucking yeah, Twilight. I haven't seen that. I haven't seen that. I should.
It's like 4 or 5 episodes. I feel like it takes. It's like in the right direction, but it doesn't quite hit.
Can't be worse than the fucking movie. Like Joster is a huge. Like, okay, I've made. You guys know my thoughts on the Mortal Kombat movie. I don't like it. Joster will defend that fucking movie damn near to his death, but he'll concede that Cole is a terrible move. Is a terrible idea. He fucking hates the Resident Evil movie. Like, with a goddamn passion, hates it.
You're talking about the newest one.
The newest Mortal Kombat movie is like meh. It capitalizes on nostalgia, but it's like not a good Mortal Kombat movie.
It's a terrible movie. It's bad pacing. The only good thing about it is the fighting is pretty solid.
The CGI is shite.
Yeah. As far as Halo goes, though.
Yes, please, Pharaoh, your thoughts on this.
I thought it looked pretty good. I think I don't think it's really meant to appeal to us gamers, though. I think they're more like, I think it's more aimed at a mass audience. So I think there's going to be things. I think there's things that we're going to see that aren't true to what we've seen in the games or in the books.
You mean like mean like Captain Keyes being a black man now? I'm not. That's the fact. Like, I got no issue with it, not entirely. Like I said to somebody who brought this up, and I turned around and you know what? I'm not gonna get right into this. Just
release a patch and change this code in the game too.
God fucking damn it. Anyway,
just patch it.
Just patch it. Jesus Christ.
Yeah, just patch it, bro.
Just patch it.
It'll be straight.
The white patch.
That's gonna be the answer to everything now. Just patch it.
That's been the goddamn motto of the fucking games industry for the last 10 fucking years. Longer even. But no, like I said, I feel like they're trying to cram in too much too soon. I do take issue with the fact that, like, if that's really what they're going for, Pharaoh, why? It keeps failing. Like, this, I'm not gonna. Here's the thing. It's very. Let me get my point. It is very seldom that a game turned into a series or a movie that's trying to grab a mass audience succeeds. So why do they keep trying?
I think the reason that they're trying is The Witcher.
Okay, but The Witcher's here's the thing though, The Witcher is kind of a unique example. And the reason why I say that's a unique example is because The Witcher games took place after the books in a hypothetical what if. Because, spoiler alert, Geralt dies at the end of the books. Like, he dead.
I mean, which is, I would kind of...
But with
there's no happily ever ending for his type of character. So.
Exactly, but like I said, with the Witcher games, they take place after the books. So that's a unique experience for those people. So the Witcher TV show is an adaptation of the books, a more faithful one, should I say. So, like, that's in a unique position where in this, they're clearly writing something new, but just not everything is keying up with the lore that's already established. Like, no humans have ever worked with the goddamn Covenant before.
So here's the issue that you run into when you have a video game adaptation versus something like The Witcher that has books and then a video game. Is that Hollywood does not respect video games as an art.
There it is.
So they take they take the IP and they do what they want to it. They imagine it how they want to imagine it, versus when it's a book like a Game of Thrones or The Witcher or Hunger Games or just anything that starts off as a book. They try to stay as true to that book as possible, more than they do with a video game. We see it all the time when it comes to video games and anime adaptations into movies. Hollywood just doesn't typically seem to respect those art forms and stay true to what made those things great all the time.
I would say, to add to that, comic books are the perfect example. It took a really, really, really long time for comic book movies to hit, and largely because they weren't talking to comic book people.
Okay, but here's
they didn't respect
okay. In a sense, I disagree with that, because with comic books, they were kind of the fucking like them leaning more into the campiness of the characters is kind of what killed them in a sense. But also, then you also had films like Blade, which very loosely followed the comic itself, but was universally praised.
Absolutely, there will always be rare, just like Castlevania is a solid intro video game show. There will always be sometimes people to do it well, but large and by and large, there's a reason you like them or dislike them. Kevin Smith talks about all the time. He was tapped to make a Superman movie, and he was like, "Why? You do know there are dudes literally writing Superman right now who can make this movie.
Yep.
Why are you coming to me?" But all Hollywood's always, "You're the nerd dude who makes movies, so we can only go to you."
Yeah, sorry,
So,
no, I don't. No offense. After
whatever you feel about him is, I understand that, but it doesn't distract from the actual truth of the matter. Is someone in Hollywood thought he belonged there.
But then, the man goes and makes fucking He-Man and does what he did, so he doesn't even follow his own goddamn advice.
I mean, I'm just saying. I mean, He-Man is a whole different thing, but Farrell's 1,000% correct. Like, we don't have a video game Kevin Smith or no guy who's just like the video game who's bringing it. Maybe GF, maybe what's his name, the VGA guys. Like,
no. There is one ray of hope. There is one ray of hope, and that's the man directing, and I believe he's directing and doing everything for the Metal Gear Solid movie. Because he's also the same guy who did Kong Skull Island. The reason why I say there's a little hope there is because he is actually friends with Hideo Kojima. So
greatest hope is Neil Druckmann with his Last of Us TV series.
And Neil Druckmann, to me, Last of Us is an easy layup because it can't be that. It'll probably be more serious, but it can't be that much different than The Walking Dead. The blueprint's already there.
Yep, pretty much.
Well, the reason I think Last of Us is our best hope is because the IP is actually owned by a movie studio, which is
also true. Yes.
Okay.
So
now, the problem is
they're gonna have respect for their own IP.
Okay.
So I think that gives them the best chance.
I would agree with that, but then I also say look at what the fuck they did with Monster Hunter, with Resident Evil.
I mean, I will die on the hill.
That's not their IP.
Evil,
No, but Sony backed the goddamn fucking project, so they don't really have that. And so the movie department for them really doesn't have much respect. Sorry, what hell? What hell?
But Neil Druckmann is actually helping direct.
Oh yeah, and
the actual movie.
That makes me feel better after The Last of Us Part 2. Yeah, that makes me feel all fucking better. That fills me with fucking hope.
Look, the story may be trash, but the delivery of it on screen may actually be done properly.
Hopefully, I guarantee, for me, the only good thing that's going to come out of that is I'm going to get more Adrian Pascal. That's the only good thing going to come out of this. Because that man is a legend, he is a saint, he is the second coming of Jesus, and I will hear none of it from anybody. There was also another point I was trying to make, but I've got Adrian Pascal on my mind now. What the fuck? Kofi, you're a Halo fan. You haven't seen the... I guarantee you Kofi's not even here.
No, I'm actually here for once.
Oh wow! Okay, did you see the trailer?
I did see the trailer. So I thought that the action was really cool. Like, so for somebody who's only played up to Halo Reach, and then I did like ODST and I played 3, but I haven't really been into Halo 4 and 5, so I've missed out on a lot. But when I see like some of the action, I feel like seeing Master Chief carrying like the minigun or like the Gatling gun was really cool. That's what I was attracted to. I want the set pieces to feel epic because to me, Halo and the lore is so important. I think they've done a good job with the books and everything that we've seen over the years. So for somebody like on the outside, like I'm not in the Xbox ecosystem, I kind of see Halo from a distance. This could kind of like get me, like what's going on. Maybe I would actually try Paramount Plus because I just haven't seen enough to even subscribe to them, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
Try Paramount? I'm not trying that shit.
You don't want the new iCarly? You want that iCarly reboot? It's always fired, huh?
All right, so here's the deal. One of y'all, somebody on this panel will suck her up and get Paramount Plus. I will hear about it. I will get your
over at Jube.
I'm looking at Jube as
well. Wow.
But no, it looks cool, man. I'm not like head over heels about it, but the little details that you guys pointed out, I wouldn't even like caught that kind of stuff. So.
By the way, what made me happy is different topic is that Take-Two is getting its own series.
Speaking of TV series, did any of y'all fucking catch the fire that was the fucking Cuphead TV show trailer? Like the full one?
I saw it.
I think, holy shit, if that's
wasn't it like a month old?
What?
Wasn't it like a month ago they had that whole trailer?
No, there's a...
No, it's a new one.
Yeah, this is a new one. This was like a full, I think, like, what was it, a full 2-minute trailer?
Yeah.
Yeah, like, that
this is going to be a beautiful thing. This is a beautiful thing that a lot of the IPs that we are playing right now are starting to actually make their way into other mainstream avenues, such as film.
What makes this one better for me? What makes this one better for me? One, it is a testament to everything those guys went through to make Cuphead. 2, I believe they actually worked on this as well. And 3, now that it's done, we might finally get the fucking Cuphead DLC. Oh wait, no, we are, because they did finish it.
They did finish it, yeah.
Final Fantasy 9 is getting a TV series. And I'm pretty sure, based on the announcement...
Steel is getting an anime series?
Oh, that'd be
That's
dope.
What's up. And I'm pretty sure Final Fantasy 7 is going to get a series also. I'm almost guaranteed that Final Fantasy 7 is getting a TV series.
I ain't gonna lie. Kofi would.
Did y'all see the 25th? And did y'all see the announcement today by the about the 25th anniversary, or was it 25th anniversary?
It's 25th anniversary. I didn't see
35th.
For what?
No, 25th.
Well,
25th.
Is it 25th or 35th? It came out in the 90s.
25th. I'm 36, so it can't be.
Yeah. So whatever. I can't keep up. My math is off today. But they essentially guaranteed that after remake, there's going to be a ton more Final Fantasy 7 content, and there's only like so much more you're going to do.
You're talking about all the games they make, right? The mobile games and the first.
No, they're talking about beyond that. No, they're talking about beyond that. There's going to be a lot more content. Yeah, there's
just finished remake. My goodness.
Also, apparently they're gonna reveal part 2 this year, which is shocking.
They hope to. As long as development stays on track.
I'll see it when I fucking believe it, like Breath of the Wild 2. I'll see it when I believe it.
I agree. I think it's gonna be like.
They have the benefit of like being able to use like 90% of those assets over again. They just got to make like little open world.
Cosmo Candy, baby. They gotta make that candy.
What? Was another...
I don't think they do. They go that far? Do they go?
Maybe not.
They would have to, because there's no. I mean,
feel like
unless half the game is the backstory of Sephiroth.
I wouldn't be fucking up.
I
wouldn't be attuned to that. I wouldn't mind seeing like an expansion on Sephiroth's character, especially if projection goes where it is. They're turning Sephiroth, at least in the reboot series, into something of an anti-villain.
Mm-hmm.
Like, all right. So the thing is, you have to think about like how much longer Part 2 is gonna be, because you got to think about they're probably gonna go much deeper into Cloud's account of what happened at Nibelheim.
I agree.
Like, that's probably gonna be like a good 3, maybe 4 hours of gameplay in itself, maybe.
Okay.
I think they need some set piece though.
Yeah, I think you have to, and like Cosmo Canyon is also a good place to end it, because it's like their next here's our next step after what we know we have to do.
They might end it there, but if you end it there, that's probably a CGI scene.
I mean,
So, like,
who knows?
You
what
gotta
I'm
be a part. Like, you gotta fight Red's dad.
my thing-
Monster.
Right.
Yeah.
You gotta learn the story of
'Cause,
Red's dad. Although no
'cause,
golden saucer,
another-
then I'm screw it.
Another part of it is that you have to you got to cover some of the content that takes place in the books that came out this summer.
Right.
Because some of the stuff in the books will be taking place during Remake 2.
You've also
Part 2.
Finally started up the
you
book. The book has
also-
really good imagery.
As a final point, before we move on to the actual topics proper, the other thing you also need to take into account, I think when we were talking about Cloud's his recounting of what happens, you also probably need to fill in a couple of holes in what happened differently in Crisis Core. To the point,
Well, they won't. Will they
Sure.
attack plot holes that early? And will they start attacking Cloud's account of events?
No,
that early?
they kind of have to, because again, you got to remember, by the end of 7, we find out that fucking Zack is alive. That's something that needs to be addressed.
I kind of agree with Dante on that.
We assume that he's alive.
Oh that's pretty much goddamn confirmed. Cloud got to I think it was Midgar because of Zack, because Zack carried him back because by the end of the events of Final Fantasy Crisis Core, Zack was dead, and Cloud was pretty much left there and found Zack, if I remember the events of Crisis Core correctly. In the new event, Zack carried an unconscious Cloud all the way back to Midgar after defeating all of the enemies that came to kill him. So that the reason why those new events unfolded need to be addressed.
You have the conflict of there would be 2 Buster Swords if both of them are alive, and then you have the conflict of that Zack's timeline displays different images, like inside the church. The church is different in Zack's timeline than what it was in the actual game. The mascot is different in Zack's than it is in Cloud's timeline as well.
And all of this is what needs to be explained, is what I'm saying.
They're going with some Laguna type stuff. I don't know, so we don't know if he's actually alive in this timeline or not.
I think he is.
They're doing some Kingdom Hearts, Final Fantasy VIII madness right now. We're just gonna have to wait and see.
We already know. I think it was already confirmed. The Aerith that we know already knows a lot of the events that are happening and that they're changing.
she was in.
So it would not surprise me.
From Advent Children.
Okay, so it would not surprise me if Aerith met Zack earlier, informed him on everything that's going to happen. That's how he survived, and he left the Buster Sword with Cloud because he knew those events needed to unfold the way they did. I see Jubei nodding his head in agreement.
He had the Buster Sword at the end of the intermission DLC.
Who? Zack?
Zack, yeah. He goes to the church and he has the Buster Sword on his back. At the end of the intermission DLC.
In fairness, it's not like there hasn't existed 2 Buster Swords. Do I need to bring up Advent? Like, what the? Okay, I love it, I do. But do I need to bring up the what the fuck is that Buster Sword that Cloud had in Advent Children, where it fucking transformed in like 7 different fucking?
That wasn't the Buster Sword.
But
that was just a new sword.
Yeah, but it's still classed as a Buster Sword.
Can we talk about this after the joke?
No, we're not. We're moving on to the first topic, which I'm hoping I got correct.
Oh, we're just making it to the first topic? Oh, God.
No, I wanted to quickly just get thoughts, and then it fucking diverged because everybody keeps bringing up, but it's a studio making this kind of thing, and I'm squarely blaming you for that, Pharaoh. Right, so first topic, late review copies. Why do we think? I think it's pretty cut and dry. Why are a lot of studios not giving review copies to outlets earlier? Simply because I believe is one of 2 things. 1, they don't have faith in the project, or 2, it's not fucking complete. Like when they turn around and say it's gone golden, they still bring out fucking day 1 patches, which, I mean, I like the game, but need I bring up Cyberpunk? Like they gave him a fucking they didn't give it him. They gave him a fucking red herring. Omar wanted to talk about this, so I'm gonna let Omar go first because Omar wanted to talk about this.
Yeah. I am I have two opinions on this on this one. The first opinion is that maybe they want to prevent the game getting leaked. Mostly the story, important moments and stuff like that. Because as much as there is what's called
NDAs and
NDMA, a lot of people don't act upon them. I literally saw a tweet from community manager from Ubisoft
what?
saying that people are abusing the NMDA and not making sure by it, and she is in chat taking notes and taking this channel down. I think that.
I mean, if you review a game, you shouldn't have to buy a copy. I'm just saying, because you're promoting that game by giving a review.
Yeah, but here's my problem. In my opinion, same argument a lot of people would levy towards Let's Players and streamers like myself, but I still buy the game. That one's a slippery slope thing. I think if you're
No, I'm not talking about.
No, I was talking to Farrell at that point with his review. If they're reviewing it, they're giving it free marketing, so they should get it for free.
Well, when you're doing a Let's Play, it's different because they're not asking you to play it. If they were asking you to play it, they would compensate you.
A lot of these a lot of these outlets don't ask them to review it. They just send them free copies to review it.
I actually believe reviews shouldn't be free anymore. Because when a game is free, you're gonna be way more forgiving toward if a game is not free. Like for example, how I raged about Godfall. If that shit was not free, if that shit was free, which for me is free, but I'm talking. If I was a reviewer, I would have just said this and moved on. It would have not impacted me. But if I paid money and I'm reviewing this and quote unquote wasting my time, then I'm gonna be mad pissed and put that in the review. Also, when you pay your review, when you pay your games, when you buy your games, you are way more
invested because there's a financial
invested and also able to be more honest over when you are hoping for a review copy. So,
I mean, in most cases, the person doing the review wouldn't pay for it anyway, because their company would pay for it. So either way, they would play the game for free.
That's also true.
No.
Yes. Yeah. And 90% of cases,
accurate.
They wouldn't pay for it regardless.
There is a lot of YouTubers getting copy, and they are not company. They are just YouTubers. But they are getting copies.
Yeah, but they're not the ones that impact Metascores and things. They're like nobody.
Yeah, their review.
They're
it doesn't fuck with Metacritic because they're not on Metacritic.
Actually, a couple are actually.
A couple are, but
like
I'm saying
some of the
for the most part,
of the big ones. Some of the big ones. I think Angry Joe is on Metacritic. I think.
Isn't what's his name from your side of the world, Dante?
What? Who?
Used to work at Destructoid.
So
Zero Punctuation? Yahtzee?
No, not Zero. Even though Zero's good. Zero's good.
Zero's great. I love him.
A guy, kind of bigger guy. Oh man.
Total Biscuit.
No, not Biscuit, but he's good too. Total Biscuit, right? I like him. But no, there's the third guy.
Total Biscuit is dead.
Yes, I know he's dead. I did a whole fucking video upset about it.
What was the? Oh gosh, he's kind of bigger. Jimquisitions.
Jim
Oh no!
God, no!
He's no
Oh
lady.
no! How dare you call him Jim? How dare you misgendering cis black male? How dare you misgender him? He is no
lady.
She is a strong, independent whale who don't need no man. Oh, sorry.
Oh gosh, I'm staying out of this one. I don't know what happened with that.
Yeah, no, he apparently transitioned 2 years ago or something like that. I don't know.
I don't actually know.
Yeah. So for me, it's that one.
We don't have time to keep up with everyone's.
Yes,
like,
let's
challenges.
back
So,
on topic.
But I truly believe it to prevent leaks from happening.
See,
Which at that one or two, it's because they are not ready, and we've seen it with Cyberpunk. We've seen it with other games, and sometimes it's justifiable, not justifiable, but more like you're correct for being scared. But one time, at least for me, it was with Kana. They were mad late with the reviews, but still the game was amazing. So it's almost like a hit or miss. And even with PlayStation, when they're confident they're releasing it early, but when they're not, okay, it will date con, then they release it, quote unquote, whenever it's allowed to, must be. So, like a game like God of War, they released that shit a half a month, and now with Forbidden West, they released that 13 days ahead of time.
See, that's...
And I threw, yeah.
No, so first of all, I just want to attack a few points before my Civ-like memory just lets all of that just go right the fuck through it. First of all, with the leak thing, and I don't want to speak for everybody because I'd like everybody else's opinion on that point specifically. I don't feel like that is a valid, nor is that a problem, nor is that a... I don't think that's on their mind for the simple reason they've got enough problems with internal leaks leaking the stories while the game's still being made. So I don't think, like, The Last of Us Part 2 is like one of the biggest examples where it did leak, and like I believe 90% of it was true. And that leaked ages before the game ages before the game even came out, like even before the game went gold. The other problem, so I want everybody else's opinion. Do you think like the threat of leaks is why they're doing it, and what do you think the probability is?
I don't think leaks are the issue. I mean, I think one of the biggest issues is like when you give people a short deadline to complete a game or complete any type of review of something, they're not able to really sit back and reflect on their review prior to. So like it's kind of like, you know, I finished it and I have to give like a gut check reaction to what I thought about it. So I think that's part of it. And then I think also the longer the review is out, the more you allow for groupthink to fester. I mean, as much as you know, gaming community is small. Like people talk to each other, and if you know, I know you're reviewing the game. I mean, and if we have time to talk about it, you know, I didn't realize that. Like, oh, you ran into this issue too. It may be something that pops up in a review now that, you know, 2 or 3 people have had a chance to talk about this game that are all under NDA together. I think things like that, you avoid that by giving them the minimum amount of time they need to review the game before it comes out.
In my opinion, if they wanted, before I get, because I want to ask Kofi, in my opinion, if they wanted people to earnestly fucking review games, they need to go gold much fucking earlier. Like they need to be like that's why why I'm always such a proponent of don't be afraid to push back a fucking release date by like a month or 2.
Yes.
Like
yes.
Like that's if a game is hyped up enough, like I ain't gonna lie, like fuck the amount of fucking like Halo's a good fucking example. Halo Infinite is a perfect goddamn example, except with me because I'm a freak. I'm a freak in today's world because I actually have patience. But fucking Halo didn't even launch with co-op or Forge, yet motherfuckers gobbled that shit up like it was going out of style.
Yeah, I mean, in what you're saying, Dante, I would say that games should go out for review somewhere within 30 to 45 days before the game releases, with the intent of the review being published a week prior to the game coming out.
Yes, no, I'm absolutely, I'm on board with that, because here's the thing: if you give them the 30-day limit, even something like, because it's their fucking job, even something like an RPG or an MMO, because that was something that I think we brought up, was the fact that someone once said it was a topic, and someone brought up, a reviewer said that it's damn near impossible to accurately gauge or rate MMOs because they're so long. If you give them a month to do it, you got one dude solely focused on one game to review that. You give him a month to do that, he'll have your fucking review. Or two people, one to play it, one to fucking type what he's thinking. I'd say that's definitely an issue. Games need to go. Game companies need to be unafraid to push back release dates or be more lenient on release dates if they are so concerned about reviews. Which, in my opinion, in today's climate, no one ain't gonna fucking care about reviews because I'm the first one bringing it up. Thanks to Game Pass, none of y'all fucking read reviews before you slap down money to or download that shit anyway. So reviews don't even fucking matter on something like Game Pass when you just willy-nilly press download or buy on discount anyway. Because just by precedent on it being on Game Pass.
It's about risk. There's no risk involved. I'm not out $60.
I mean, most of us grew up. Most of us grew up in the era before the internet was a thing in every household. And I don't remember walking into a store and seeing a game and being like, I need to check the reviews first.
Yeah, like, you saw it and you were like, oh, that's so cool, let me go buy it.
I don't remember picking up like a Game Informer magazine or whatever the gaming magazine of the time was and like looking at the review before I decided to buy the game. Like we knew Legend of Dragoon was coming out like a year or whatever before it came out, and we were talking about the game. We weren't me and Kofi. We weren't like online reading reviews of it. Like it's just different times. I don't know. I mean, reviews may be a thing of today's times, but I don't remember that ever dictating my purchases. I just don't.
I fondly remember reading reviews after a game had already came out and I'd already played it. Like that.
Yeah, like afterwards.
I must have grown. I must be like the biggest freak in the world because like when it came to games, I was immediately if it was a game I'd never heard of or a game that I was looking forward to because I grew up. I guess it's because I grew up dirt poor. I'm the Kenny of the group. When I'm kicking
Kenny of the group.
I'm the Kenny of the group.
I mean,
when I walk down with one shoe on my feet and people ask, did I lose a shoe? I say, no, I found one. When I kick a can down the street, people ask what I'm doing. I say, I'm moving. What?
I said I'm fucking weak.
But for me, I always asked, like, my peers, like, have you played this game? If not, like, or if you did, what do you think of it? And I did. For fuck's sake, even in the age of digital, I was reading like magazines. I was reading like the sheets to see like, okay, is this game good? Like that's like back in the day. That's for the longest goddamn time. This is how much I was reading fucking books. Still reading magazines. I remember buying the magazine that a PlayStation magazine that first showed BioShock, and then it only came out on Xbox, and people were like, but it's only going to be an Xbox exclusive, and I just told up the magazine saying, they fucking showed it in PlayStation, and then it came out much later on PlayStation 3, and I'm like, fucking see?
I remember when Resident Evil 4 was first announced, and I mean, it launched as a completely different game, but when they were first talking about it, they were talking about being in like an old, like dilapidated mansion.
Yeah, and the ghosts.
And
having the Hawkman demo.
Yeah, exactly. Having a constant threat that was like chasing you. Like part of that kind of ended up in the game, but it was a completely different game when it actually came out.
Exactly, and the fucking the screenshots of BioShock looked a lot fucking cleaner than what shown.
I read that sitting in my Uncle Nate's living room in Connecticut. Like I fondly remember exactly where I was when I read that issue.
But yeah, like hell, even if I was gonna buy him, this actually I can specifically point to you to a fucking thing because you want to know one thing people don't do. Like clearly, I'm the freak. I'll admit, I'm not talking for the majority. I'm talking for the fucking silent minority at this point. Yes, I'm a minority on a minority podcast. Damn it, sorry. What I usually did if it was a game I didn't know about either, I asked the fucking clerk at the store. Because, like, usually people who work at game stores, like, ones that specifically sell games, are usually most likely gamers themselves. And that's actually what happened when I got into Mass Effect. Like, I saw Mass Effect 2 on the shelf. It was like £5 or something at GameStation. I don't think GameStation exists anymore. But I picked it up. I was like, oh, this looks cool. What's up to do? I asked him, do you know anything about this? He said, Mass Effect 2, one of the best games ever fucking made. And I was like, don't. If you lie to me, I will come back. Bought the game. You weren't wrong. It was one of the best games I ever fucking played. And that was on the Xbox. I got the Xbox 360 version, where you had to do the fucking annoying swap disc bullshit.
Yep.
And I remember when Kofi first got his PlayStation. I think he first got his PlayStation. And I walked in his house and he was playing some BS. And like I'm looking at his new games and like he has like Final Fantasy 7 on Legend of the Guy, and I'm like, take this out now. We playing real games. Kofi remembers that.
No, it was real. You know what's funny? That third game I was playing is actually still my favorite game in the series, which will get me, shivved out here. It was Grand Theft Auto 2. I really love that.
Dude, it will get you shivved out here.
It was just so simple. Like I didn't need the story. I just wanted to crash cars and run from the cops.
I didn't know you.
That was when Kofi became hooked on JRPGs. When I was like, no, you got to pop this crap out. We got to pop this in right now.
Facts. And it was actually, I did not like Final Fantasy 7 first. See, here's the thing. I played Final Fantasy 7, and Pharaoh's totally right. I just didn't understand the ATB. I was just like, this is too much. I'm done. But then I played Legaia, and then, you started discovering arts. I was like, oh, shoot, Legaia is it. But then, we came back, and Pharaoh was like, yo, this is how you play 7. Like, look at Braver. Look at, Cross Slash. I was like, oh, shoot, this go hard. And, from there... it's the classic.
I mean, I don't know. It's interesting because, I didn't meet Pharaoh and Kofi till a bit later, and probably just because I always look at weird shit anyway. But I just looked at what seemed cool on the cover and was like, I kind of want this game. Like that's what led me to. That's what led me to Blasto. That's what led me to in Hergés, which the only reason I even wanted to play that game because it had Cloud and Tifa in it, and it was a fighting game. Or Tobal #1, or Buster Groove. I would have never played Buster Groove unless I was like, these people look kind of interesting. What's this all about? That's pretty much how I just spent my gaming choices. It was like what looks interesting, and you'd spend 10 to 15 minutes in a store in GameStop or with KB Toys or what's the Power Gamer, I think is what it used to call, and just running back and forth, looking at cases, looking at back of the box art, figuring out, well, okay, what's this scene like? What's this supposed to do? Reviews always existed for me, and I was aware of them, and I looked at some of them, but majority of the collection of games I've ever played are just things I thought looked interesting.
Okay, could someone I've muted him. Could someone please tell Pharaoh when he's not talking to please mute himself because that sound was back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm gonna unmute him now. Hopefully, it's there. We go. Thank you.
Thank you.
But yeah, anyway, going back onto the topic, but it's these kind of things. Back then, it did feel like with game magazines at the very least, it did seem like they gave games these guys review copies a lot earlier than they do now.
So what changed?
Yeah.
Digital. That's what fucking changed. Everything went from printed media where you'd need to play the game, you'd need to review the game, then you'd need to bring out your copy of that magazine just after or just before the game came out.
But what doesn't make sense is why a company like PlayStation or even Nintendo, because Nintendo does this, send games out early. Why the abnormality?
I think part of it is catching people's attention. Magazines had a captive audience. It was built in. The only way you're going to read about this is when you buy my magazine. Now, if you're just any reviewer, not only is it you have to go up against like your actual deadline. You've got to go up against the 10 other websites
that are covering the exact same shit.
And like it's always about who gets to print first.
Also, I think on the publisher's side, I think they realized after a certain amount of time they didn't need the fucking reviews because people are just gonna buy these games anyway.
Yeah, I mean, at the time when we did it growing up, like all we had to know was SquareSoft was making a game. It was probably gonna get bought. Didn't really matter what it was. It was probably gonna get bought.
But back then, here's the thing. Back then, the gaming community, as much as Pharaoh likes to turn around and say the gaming community is small, if the gaming community is small today by his standards, like the gaming community back then was fucking microscopic, like atom size in comparison.
True.
I mean, it was niche, but
I mean,
it stopped being niche.
It's small, but it's high revenue generating.
It was
like when you compare it to other.
It beats out the movie industry and the music industry.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's the highest revenue generator.
But the thing is, would it beat out? Would it beat out the movie industry if movie tickets were $60 a pop? No, it wouldn't.
Right,
so that's why. I mean, it's $60 for the entrance fee here.
I don't know. Give it time. These subscription services now that they've got shit coming out on just fucking subscription services, and they're trying to kill out the fucking Blu-ray industry, the DVD or Blu-ray industry, shit like that. Like, give it fucking time. It'll get there just on pure fucking subscribers alone because the locking content behind it.
DVDs will exist until they find a solution to make the Game Pass a porn. Until then, we're good.
It already exists. It's called porn.
Porn dictates, but it's not a sub-service.
Yeah, it is.
You get all
yes,
of them.
Yeah, it is.
It's a sub-service now?
There is a subscription service, yes.
Like where you get like all the movies and
yes!
you just Netflix through it?
Yes.
Okay.
Dude, yes. It's had that for it has had that for years, my man.
No, you're
I know they have the premium. I know they have like the paid version where you get to click on like the full clip of a video.
Well, there's exclusive stuff behind that premium service as well. I'm trying not to incriminate myself, and it ain't fucking helping.
I'm not hit.
I still what Pharaoh's asking for is the Netflix of, which right now what exists is the HBO of. So it's like you want all original HBO content or whatever your favorite.
Okay, I get
skin site is, but you just want a random grab bag. That doesn't exist.
Then at that point, it does exist. It's called oh, for fuck's sake! You know what? It's big, but in my radar, it became fucking small. OnlyFans, yeah, it exists. It's called OnlyFans. Jubei knows all about that.
I'm not hip to it. But yeah, we all know porn dictates media. Did it with beta versus VHS, HD, DVD versus Blu-ray?
Because somebody is out there spending money on that shit. You 100% right.
I can neither confirm nor deny.
I mean, the proof is in the pudding. Whatever they latched onto, that was the media people were going to use.
God fucking damn! Why did that picture? God damn it! Sorry, just this picture just pops up on my fucking screen, and okay, it's
did somebody send you some?
No, it didn't dick pics. No. It's actually Xbox related. It's probably the funniest fucking Phil Spencer meme I've ever goddamn seen. Yeah, it's the funniest Phil Spencer meme ever. It's the one where it's Phil Spencer's head over Arnold Schwarzenegger from Commando, and the bazooka's replaced by the Series X.
Oh yeah, I've seen that.
I fucking love that. I love that picture. I'm not gonna lie. Kofi. So Kofi, what about we went off topic, and it ain't my goddamn fault. But I just don't want to interrupt people's mindsets because they just keep fucking talking. I thought I talked a lot. But yeah, what do you think? Do you think the leaks are the problem, or do you think it's something else when it comes to people not getting copies early? Enough.
Man, like I feel like there's one thing I dislike leaks just as much as everybody else. But like I don't even know how to approach this. I feel like there are a lot of issues with the review process, whether it's that the most influential reviewers that review every single game seem to try to match that standard on a day, like over a large span of time. So they need enough staff, and then they end up crunching, and they have little time to review, let's say, a long game. And on top of that, embargoes. So if the embargo is going to be right, like let's say the software won't come out to a certain time, and then it's embargoed to another date. Publishers want to, protect any sort of news coming out, and I feel like all that going into a game coming out can kind of, I don't know, muddy the waters. I just feel like, here's what I was honestly thinking: if a review company such as IGN or GameSpot has the greatest influence on a Metacritic, there should be some sort of process that requires them to have a certain amount of time. And I hate to say it, I think even though leaks might be a concern, I would rather have that so that we have less crunch to review a game in a short amount of time.
Sometimes they don't even finish the game. Like that's a proven fact. Right. Sometimes they don't even finish the goddamn game.
I was about to say, some reviewers don't do that. Yeah, and they don't disclose it. That's the issue.
Right. Like, well, I look at I've been really super like a weeb in these last few months, and I look at
in the last few months. Only in the last few months.
I've been really not on like the Western side, at least with Twitter. But like, the reason I bring this up is I look at Famitsu reviews, and I feel like when you get into like some of the long-winded things that they've written, they miss so many games because they're not localized, and so they have a rhythm that works. I feel like for the size that Famitsu is. But over here in the West, we're reviewing everything. We're just crunching in like indie game. All right, jump on a big game. Do a 60-hour game. Review I don't know, what's it called? Assassin's Creed. And then it's in the fall when everything is stacking on top of each other.
Yep.
It just feels bloated.
You imagine being a reviewer this year with everything that's coming out?
Right, yeah, in 2022.
For sure, like fuck.
It's just unbelievable. And I don't know how to. I just feel like there should be some sort of. Well, your question was about leaks, so I apologize because I'm kind of going off
right ahead. I'm used to everybody going off topic anyway. Now I know how FC feels.
You know what irked me the most? When reviewers review a game that they have no business reviewing. If you're not a fan of racing game, why the fuck are you reviewing a racing game?
Do you also just want a fan of it to review it though? Because there's bias there.
I disagree. I disagree that there would be bias because, in my opinion, as a prerequisite to being a journalist, you need to look at anything with as much, because everybody has a bias no matter what. Even people on this podcast have a bias, whether they want to admit it or not. But the thing is the job of a reviewer is to go in with as big of an unbiased opinion as possible. Okay, I try and do that with the interviews that I do. The difference is when you look at it with this unbiased eye, but it's better to also have an expert at a game or at a genre with knowledge of the genre, so they know what to look for and what it could possibly be missing that could also be missed in a review of a game. Like, for example, Kofi, you're a big Gran Turismo fan. You love this series. Okay, you read a review of Gran Turismo. What's the next one? 6? Was it 5?
7.
7. Okay, Gran Turismo 7, and you're reading a review, and it's by somebody who don't know anything about racing games and doesn't like racing games, doesn't know much about racing games. Let me finish. And hasn't even played the other Gran Turismo games, and it's a glowing review. But when you play it, there is name me something that you feel would be a big omission that was in previous Gran Turismo games that would irk you beyond all recognition if it wasn't in Gran Turismo 7.
Online racing rules for crashing.
Now, imagine if the review didn't mention that.
Yeah, I would be irritated, especially if I then bought the game and it wasn't in the game. Oh, I'd be heated. That's a massive overload.
That's why I'm actually all in favor of having people who play this type of game, these types of games, reviewing those types of games. Like Jube, you're a fighting game guy. Imagine if just put yourself in the shoes of mixing my words here. Just put yourself in the shoes of if you played a series that you really like, say, I mean, fuck, you know what? Let's actually use Street Fighter as an example. Like let's look at Street Fighter with Street Fighter 4, Ultra Street Fighter 4. Like Street Fighter 5 came out broken and unfinished as hell. We all know that, but I guarantee you, a lot of reviewers missed out on a lot of the lost features because they weren't fans of the genre or hadn't really played any of the other games. You know what I mean?
That's true. I mean, because Ultra 4 was dope.
Yeah.
I loved Ultra 4.
Fuck,
all of 4. I loved every phase that 4 went through.
I'll throw another one which will hit you hard. Fucking, I imagine a lot of fucking reviews for Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite missed out on a lot of the goddamn features that were missing.
No. That game is garbage. That game is hot garbage.
No. Let me finish. I guarantee you there are reviews out there of Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite that completely missed a lot of the features that were in previous Marvel vs. Capcom games, like Marvel vs. Capcom 3, that weren't in Infinite, and they completely missed out because they weren't a fan of the genre and not a fan of this. And that's why I'm all for reviewers reviewing games that they have intimate knowledge of, because there might be a sense of bias, but there's always going to be a sense of bias. But at least there'll be a fucking straight analysis of it.
Right.
Hold on. 3 people talking. Pharaoh started first, then Jubei, then then Omar.
Yep.
Pharaoh, go.
I'm going to be really quick. I was just going to say that I think fans of games are typically the harshest critic of the game.
Mm-hmm. Look at Halo. All right.
That was all I was going to say.
You bet.
Yeah. The thing is, the onus is on these companies to hire people that fit that criteria to be able to, effectively review these games. And I just don't think, you can hire a full team of reviewers that covers the whole spectrum. Like, could you? Yeah, but are these companies going to? No.
No, they'd rather become blog sites.
Yeah.
One more thing, if I may. There's really no excuse for this because, being the old guy gamer again, back in the days when we were growing up, these games released with full-blown strategy guides that helped you get from point A to point B, point Z of the game, whether it was a sports game or RPG or whatever. You had a full strategy guide before the game even that launched. So what's the game?
I bought the one for Skyrim when that launched.
There's no excuse for this. It's just not.
All right, go ahead, Omar. What's your take? And then I want Zero's on reviewing because I mean, as we all know, Nintendo is all for reviewers.
So here's the thing. Imagine reviewing a game about One Piece, but you have absolutely no idea what One Piece is. You're not gonna understand the joke. You're gonna complain about why the game is not explaining who is the characters and their origin stories and so on and so on, and you're gonna be so confused with what you're playing, and you're not gonna you're not gonna explain well if the game is faithful to the original source material, or if the game is not canon and does some weird ass shit. Like, for example, here's a different example. Let's call Demon Slayer. Imagine if the main character for Demon Slayer all of a sudden grows 4 arms. Like, if you're not a fan of the show, you're not gonna know that's something that doesn't happen, and you're not gonna, or if it does happen in the show, you're not gonna understand why it's happened because you don't follow the show. And you can literally link that to game reviewers when it comes to reviewing game in general. Like, for example, if you have absolutely no idea about anything, you don't know anything about a racing game, you're not gonna have fun reviewing a racing game, and everything you do, and you're gonna be bad in the sense of you're gonna suck at it. You're gonna put that negativity in your reflection when it comes to reviewing the game. Oh, the gameplay sucks. The game is slow. The game punishes you for doing something. It's so stupid. All I did was I went out of the court for a few seconds, something like that.
Yeah. Now, Zero, we got trying to steer everything back onto the goddamn topic. Nintendo, well known for giving reviewers review copies. Why do you think Nintendo? Why is that, Zero? Why is that?
I couldn't.
Why do you think that is? Sarcasm.
I mean, they don't want you to have it, or it's like, honestly, for Nintendo, I don't really need your review. I'm going to do numbers with or without you.
And
and time again, they've proven that. Although to be fair, most publications are pretty alright towards the actual Nintendo games that they put out.
See, and Zero pretty much summed up everything like I did earlier. These companies have realized they don't need reviews because again, you will always be able to part a fool with their money.
But I actually think Kofi hit the nail on the head when it came down to just what is happening with reviewers who aren't getting anything or who just aren't being a part, who aren't finishing, who aren't playing. That it's an industry problem, and that it's crazy. I'm just reading an article about this on, like, of all places, Kotaku.
You've already lost points, but go ahead. I'll allow you to continue.
Where, I still think, to me, it's telling when Omar was describing One Piece, the words he would use was fan. And I reject the notion that you have to be a fan of something to review it. You should absolutely see it and understand it, but you don't have to be a fan of it. If I personally think that Oda's storytelling is garbage, I can still review the game and still also say the story is garbage because the story of One Piece is garbage. I don't have to be a fan to be truthful about how this game is. So I sort of reject that idea because this is a job, and I say this all the time. I still think gamers cannot separate the hobby and the love of the hobby from the actual job of it all. Like, we view it as, I wish I could be in this space to do this. Other people just see a check. And, like, there's nothing wrong with that because that's across every job. Not every person who works is passionate about working. Some people go to get paid and go home.
I agree. Yep. I agree with that, but like,
it would be nice if they were, and even from a journalist perspective, even better. But that is the truth of it all. Like, it's a job. There are a lot of passionate people in the video game industry because it is an artistic endeavor, and like, we salute those folks. We see them all the time. We see our Kojimas, and like all the other folks who appear. Like, we love them. But this is still corporate culture.
See, okay, right. So let me interject real quick, as I usually do. Right, maybe fan is too strong of a word, but where I was going, because I agree with Omar to an extent. Maybe not his choice of words, but I agree with Omar in the sense that when someone is reviewing a game, I'd rather them have knowledge. Like the examples I gave, I'd rather them have knowledge of the series and the genre itself, so that things are not missed, so it doesn't lead to a misrepresenting review of a game. Job or not, that looks bad if you misrepresent or miss things in a review that are critical to a series or a genre as a whole. That's just bad PR.
And I agree with that. And that's where, and I'll sort of paraphrase part of the article that I was reading. Corporate culture pulls in. And, as it's stating, paraphrasing a bit, these ideas are seeped from corporate culture into the basic logic of our lives. Success isn't real until it's the most success. Your home is not enough until everyone is fulfilled, and even then you deserve another home. This dissatisfaction that leads executives to push writers past their limit year after year, demanding that 15 do the work of 150 without understanding how that is not only impossible, but undesirable.
Yep.
Like, it's right there. Kofi nailed it when it's like, Famitsu seems to just have just the right amount of people to cover everything that they need to do. Most publications don't have enough people to cover every big name game that's coming out this year, let alone any small sleeper hits, every single little indie that appears out of nowhere, anything that might pop up on PS Now or Game Pass or Nintendo Switch Online. But we expect them all to be knowledgeable about it, to understand it, to not misrepresent it, even though only 10 people work for this company.
So
Only
let me
10 people are writing
let me ask you
articles.
this then: why do they count as big companies? One, and two, why do they then control almost the review system in the sense? Also, which game is nominated, not voted, but nominated for Game of the Year?
That's all profit. I don't have
all
to be
profit.
honest in my review to make money, because it seems as though we already are seeing that. If it seems that people already are dissatisfied with the system that is. So your question shouldn't be, why are we dissatisfied? It should be, how can we change it? You already know why you're dissatisfied. You know exactly what's going on. Nobody's blind to this.
See, I actually have you asked how do we fix this. That's actually what I wanted to bring up next. Like I have an idea then, because it just feels like everybody is following the big publishers. We got to review everything. But when back in the day, like here's the thing, y'all, we were talking about it, so you should remember there were dedicated, and there might be still a few around, but there used to be a dedicated like magazine to like certain games, to like certain genres, like
Yes.
So I feel like that's what might be missing here. Is like where's the website dedicated to just reviewing fighting games?
That's Shoryuken.
Exactly, but can you name another?
But that community has to keep it alive. Like that, the fighting game community has to care. Nope. If me and Jube are the only one who cares, that's less than majority of the podcast here who does not care about that.
Now, the review of the Kofi, you still alive over there?
I am here. I'm sorry, I missed out a little bit.
Just needed to check. Just wanted to check before I asked this. That review you were review site you were talking about. It was a Japanese one, right?
Oh, Famitsu, yeah.
Yeah. What did they review?
They review a wide variety of games that get localized. So they could do some things in the West, like from what's it called, ZeniMax games. They could do obviously almost any JRPG. They do visual novels.
Right,
typically things that
right there. No, you've already just made my point. Right? They have a niche, like they have a set idea on what they want to review, and they're sticking with it.
Yes. Yep.
Like they're just reviewing whatever games can get localized in Japan. Wait, hold on. Are they? So they're a Jap. Let me just make sure I'm not confounding things. They're a Japanese publication, right?
Yes.
And when you're talking about games localized, they're Western games that have come over to Japan and been localized, right?
That's right. Like Tsushima.
But their predominant market is Japanese centric games like JRPGs, even Japanese indie games, right?
Absolutely. I would say like
there you go.
Maybe 60-40
there you
for
go.
Japanese games.
Then right. Yeah, but there you go. Like that is a publication that how big is it, would you say? Like staff wise, is it a big publication?
That's a really good question. I have no idea. I mean, they're the longest standing in terms of Japan's game reviewing history, reviewing media.
Right there you go. The fact that they're still standing, like because they stuck to their guns and they're reviewing what they know how to review, and they're not. And the only time they seem to be branching outside that is games that come into Japan. Now, obviously, Japan is way smaller than like the rest of the world. Like the world isn't Japan as much as people like to think. But that's my point. Like, why don't we have more publications like that just review like a set amount of things? Like, why don't we have again more fighting game? Like, yes, more fighting game like, journalists, fighting game things. Why don't we have any Western Western JRPG review sites? or magazines
like that
or
are
what have you.
influential. Because like there are some, but they're not very influential. Like we have RPG site, we have RP Gamer, which I love, but their influence on a Metacritic score is minuscule, right? IGN will come out and be like 6 out of 10, and it'll crush RPG site.
And that's some
RPG
fucking
fan
gatekeeping right there. That's some fucking gatekeeping right there. But yeah, like like one that focuses on just first person shooters, like that, especially with the amount of first person shooters out there right now, like it feels like the industry is missing that, and that could help alleviate a lot of this crunch time as well. When you have like Halo comes out with a new game, oh, that publication over there, they just focus on first person shooters. Let's give it to them because we know it's gonna get the fair and balanced review that we want it to get. But again, I'm going through a thought experiment right now.
Like to your point, something I always harp on this. I don't know if you knew this, Pharaoh, but and Juba, you mentioned this, that you might like see reviews of games after, like years after you've beaten them, right? You're just curious, like what review did it get? Back in the day, Wild Arms 2 was one of my favorite RPGs ever, but only one major publication. One of the best RPGs, right? One of the biggest at the time.
I thought one of the best openings, like openings.
Oh, openings! Yeah, the song Michiko Naruke, which by the way, she's working on the spiritual sequel to Suikoden. She's working on what's that game that's Suikoden inspired? The AU Hyaku Eiden. Euden Chronicles. Yeah, she's composing that Suikoden series. Anyway, GameSpot was the only publication to cover Wild Arms 2, and they gave it a 5.4 out of 10. That was it. So when people look it up, the game must be trash. But it was just one opinion.
It's great.
So I was like, I was always heated looking back at that, man.
I mean,
nobody else reviewed it.
I think you're absolutely
fans of the genre, you know.
Yeah, I think you're absolutely right, Dante. Like we need that. The challenge is, and to its benefit and to its, I guess, detriment, like new media has helped do that. Like I've been, rising something for a fighting game. Shoryuken died, I think, in 2019.
Yeah, I was thinking of Shoryuken. Shoryuken was great.
It was really great site for fighting games.
It was.
Like if
it was.
You wanted to
I was on there.
Like, I want to pick up
Shoryuken was dope.
Street Fighter 4 and understand the matchups, understand frames, all of the type of stuff. They had dedicated walkthrough and guides. Yes, for characters. Mortal Kombat. If you showed up at Evo, there was somebody on there like showing you that.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, none of this stuff is free.
Oh
and
no,
so,
I get that.
Yeah.
My whole thing as well is it just seems like best way I can describe it, because even because Kofi brought it up when he mentioned about what publication did you say that would have been crushed by an IGN review? Did you say? Oh,
I was saying one game got crushed by Wild Arms.
No. But that's my point. Like, it feels like even though they're trying to be new media, it feels like old media is gatekeeping to stop new media from taking a place.
Absolutely, because you're bleeding into profits. But what I would say, to some benefit, like it or love it, like YouTube exists, and like there are people who are reviewers whose job is just to review games who get 300K, maybe 500K. Yes, if you type in the game review, IGN and them will probably pop up first. That is intentional.
Actually, I want to check. Hold on. Not that I disbelieve you, but let's actually put that theory to the test. Let's see. Name again. Let's see. You know what? Call of Duty Vanguard, because we all know Vanguard was shite. Hold on. Review. Yep, GameSpot, IGN, Game Ranks, and then fifth down, Angry Joe's review.
Well, even because I did it too. Even fourth down is who is Nero Cinema? Like, I don't know who that is. I know they're not IGN and GameSpot. So it's like, if I'm a fan of Nero Cinema, because like at this, Angry Joe, no disrespect, but I think he's kind of big. He's closer to big media than he is to small media. Okay,
now the reason I have a lot of things. I have a lot of goddamn things. Not a lot of things, but I have a few gripes with Angry Joe. and some of the ways he's conducted himself in the past. So I am in no way his biggest fan.
Right.
But I will defend him on that point in saying that I cannot see Angry Joe as big media, as like that kind of media. For one, he's damn near 100%. He is funded predominantly through his Patreon, through merch sales, and some AdSense because of the fucking adpocalypse. Because he's not. I think he falls under the term not advertiser friendly. Because the man does not.
I mean, but 3 million views definitely puts money in your pocket.
I was about to say, I don't disagree with you. My man got 3 million views.
Yeah, no, I agree. 3 million sounds good. 3 million sounds great. Until you realize that number will not replicate into the money it should, because your money gets cut in half due to AdSense. So let me just use some arbitrary numbers. These numbers are not real, and this is coming from someone who does get AdSense. So let me throw the numbers your way. Let's say that 3 million translated to $1 for every view. Okay, just use it. I mean, just all right. Cut that in half. Cut that in. You know what? I'll go even a step further. Cut that down by 2/3. That's what getting put on the non-advertiser friendly thing does to you.
Right, and to be fair, the 2 million is an anomaly. When I go through his record, like 2 million is not a normal place where he sits.
Like yeah, exactly. Right. That's why he also has the Patreon and thingy. So I can't see him as that because of that reason. Now his reach, I'm sure he has more reach than a lot of these review sites. If we're talking about reach, I would say that. But if we're talking influence on like the algorithm or anything like that, as to your point, who would be the first person to show up? It was GameSpot. He ain't got that.
No, he won't be GameSpot.
No one's ever gonna forget him getting fucking just absolutely trounced on by Jeff Keighley.
And like again, his name runs far, and that's part of the game you got to play. Whereas like as I'm continuing to scroll down, the Dynamite with 6,000 views, and is Call of Duty Vanguard worth buying 2022? Like, and it still comes to my point of, and I do agree with you, Dante. It is here. It's just different than what we expected. Like, we all know the indie gamer. He tends to primarily focus just on that.
Yeah.
And so, like, you spoken with him, like if he reviewed an indie game, I'd take his word for it for the most part, unless like we have different like viewpoints.
That's the indie guy we know. Like we know.
Yeah.
And the thing is, with the internet, you're obviously going to check the history, and you'll see that that's all he does. So if there is somebody you could possibly put any kind of trust into reviewing an indie game, it would be the guy whose name and profile and literal archive shows nothing but indie.
Yeah.
But I literally ask every time he posts something, like, "Hey, is this good?"
I mean, for fuck's sake, you can tell you trusted he's indie because even his budget is indie.
Yeah. So it's happening, and like clearly, it always does, and it's just how it sort of works out. Those who came before are trying to hold on to what they have, and so they're doing whatever they can to sort of influence and keep their hold on their space tight. Your GameSpots, your IGNs, or, whatever. Because they are big news organizations. Don't forget the key partner. They're a news organization.
No, fuck that. Kotaku and IGN are a fucking blog at this point.
Perfectly fine, but they operate in the same way.
I know.
They don't operate any differently, and so like they learn the tricks of the trade from that. Whereas, people like Angry Joe, people like Jim.
Fuck the Axeman. The Axeman as well.
Yeah, had to come up a different way. Like zero punctuation existed, I think, once every couple of months in Game Informer, where it was like, what's his name, Dark Chad or something like that. Yeah. Where I don't remember that. Darth Todd.
It was like, Game Enforcer. Like, yeah.
And he would just come and just like shit on everybody's favorite games, and like people would take it seriously.
Yahtzee is the pure definition for me of someone who knows, like giving somebody money. Yahtzee for me is is like giving somebody money who doesn't give a fuck but knows what he's talking about. It's a recipe for brilliance.
Yes, and like he's a rarity, and like he probably couldn't make it back when we were coming up in the Game Informer days because that's not what people wanted to hear. But when you can sort of do it on your own and build your own audience based on people who like what you're saying and how you say it, like that's crucial. You know, many of these publications have lost really good people who are good journalists who try to do good work, but like, you know, if Gawker when Gawker folded, everything shuttered under it, and like you're gonna lose people. If IGN does something terrible, they're gonna lose people. If GameSpot just becomes a terrible place to work, you're gonna lose people. And these people, if you know, the people who you like are journalists, regardless of what they're writing on, so they can just go write something else. Like video games are my only beat. You know, people like you can go write for Bloomberg, you can go write for any of the various magazines that exist out there. So I just choose to write about video games. Like Mike Fahey is one of my favorite writers still around at Kotaku. One of the last of like the best ones they have.
Which one?
Agreed.
Which guy?
Mike Fahey.
Oh, okay.
Okay, hold on. I got a question. Just out of the blue, I just want to make sure on something because I was curious about Yahtzee. Around the time when you were talking about when we were coming up, around the Game Informers kind of thing. What time would you what years specifically would you put that around?
Which game?
Game Informers? I really got into those like.
It was like Game Pro, Game Informer. It was.
But like prior to that was like late 90s, early 2000s.
So
Nintendo had his own magazine back then.
Late 90s for sure.
Game Pro.
I say mid 90s for me.
Okay, so we're talking mid 90s. Okay, fair enough. Because Yahtzee started. Because I mean, as far as like new media and stuff like that, Yahtzee started really fucking early. Like as far as we're talking like new media, I mean, he started in 2007. It looks like around there, yeah. Because his first one was Fable: The Lost Chapters.
There might be a bit of a age gap because like whenever I think of Game Informer and GameSpot, YouTube didn't exist.
No, okay, yeah, no. That's why I was preferencing like what era are we talking about? Are we talking paper and pen kind of era? Are we talking printed or are we talking about uploaded?
Yeah, no, like when I was doing that I was still getting a couple of hours off my AOL disc so I can go to Ask Jeeves and like look up the GameFAQs forums. Like it was before the world got inundated with video. We were still pretty analog where, you know, if someone picked up the phone, I got kicked offline.
No, but he was making games back in the fucking 90s. Yahtzee was making games. The Arthur Yahtzee trilogy. It was Visual Basic from 1998 to 2000. Jesus.
Yeah, I couldn't imagine that we'd be on the computer watching videos off the internet in the 90s.
Y'all have no fucking imagination.
Like no. Like you gotta understand. Like we got on the internet. We had to read text. It was text. That's all it was. Somebody out there went through, did walkthroughs and shit, and all that shit was text based. There was
most of it is just fucking. Here's the thing. The worst part is the most reliable fucking place to get information these days for walkthroughs and shit like that is still in text because most videos in that for that shit are fucking shit.
I mean, GameFAQs is still around for a reason. It started in 1995, I think. It started in 1995.
Yep, and I've been going there for ever.
I still go there. Now, speaking of something that's been around since the fucking 90s, because we need to move on. Because this went way off fucking topic. Like I'm not even talking. We went just off road. We went off road and just kept fucking driving. Exactly.
You might just skip it all and get to the big news.
Yeah. Oh no. There was only meant to be 2 fucking topics and a quick thought on Halo TV show. But nah, y'all motherfuckers wanted to go off road and just keep driving that fucking son of a bitch.
I like this walk down memory lane of GameFAQs.
Now speaking of, let's talk about Sony's new Bungie Cord. Are they gonna save themselves with it, or are they gonna fucking hang themselves with it? That's very fucking curious. Now, Bungie, getting to my 90s reference, Bungie's been around since the fucking 90s. When the fuck did Bungie start? Because because I know
Sony's biggest purchase ever. That's such a big deal.
I'm gonna look into that. I'm very.
Bungie started with System Shock, bro. Like
Bungie didn't start with System Shock.
It didn't start there, but like
that's prior to this
like
was
my
Columbia Pictures.
1991. 1991. Bungie never worked on System Shock actually.
That's that's the BioShock guys, right?
That's who?
That's the BioShock guys. They did.
Oh yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Wait, what?
Bungie did Marathon.
Yeah, Bungie did the
They did
Marathon.
Marathon.
Yeah, it was a Mac game.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was about to say they did Marathon. They were originally a fucking Mac company. They were making games on the Mac because they did.
Halo was supposed to come to the Mac. It was.
Yep. It's supposed to come to the Mac.
They did Oni for the
and Oni. I feel like no one remembers Oni. Kofi and Pharaoh. Me and Marv used to play Oni for hours.
I think
it was like the greatest game ever.
Fuck. I forgot they did Operation Desert Storm. So yeah, Bungie's still around. They've been around for fucking. At this point, they've been around for over 30 fucking years. Jesus Christ, they've been around longer than I've been alive.
Zero, I totally forgot that they made Oni.
Yeah, that was my game.
That's crazy.
Yeah,
that's freaking crazy.
Dante, put Oni up on the screen while we talk.
Oh, okay, fine for you, Zero, for
that's
you.
Freaking wild.
All right, so
yeah, that's a big buy.
All right, first of all, let me right. I want to hear it from Kofi first because he's the only PlayStation guy who has any kind of positive thing about this. Because Omar don't fucking care. What are your thoughts on them acquiring Bungie?
My initial reaction was obviously surprise. I thought it was fake, but I found it to be generally positive. And I'll go through like my emotions, and then I guess I'll talk some of the technical stuff. The reason why I was, I guess, on the emotional positive side is I thought, man, the talent that Bungie has, even though I don't personally like Destiny 2, they could really make something that I love that's a first-person shooter, and I don't have to be mad that I'm buying it, because I hate Activision. And then DICE just can't get things right. So I'm always looking, I'm looking like, what's a first-person shooter I can get into that, it could be anything. It could be a spiritual, something that's influenced by a DICE game, or something influenced by, I will say Apex Legends is really fun from the, few hours that I've played it. But there's so few options because I hate so many publishers. So I'm like, wow, this could be really great. Another thing that I thought was interesting was, I guess that I thought this might have been a reaction to what had been going on with Activision Blizzard.
And can I interrupt and say if people still feel that way, and I will blatantly fucking say, if you still think this is a reactionary purchase to that, because I hope Kofi you're not, you're a fucking idiot.
Yeah, I mean, and apparently through what we've seen that was already posted online, that this was an ongoing conversation that may have had clues when Destiny 2 was removed from Game Pass at the end of last year. So maybe this was like a 5, 6. Yeah, but I'm saying
Jim Ryan said 5 that they've been talking about negotiations for 5 months.
Exactly, but I'm saying like if we were to look back, what was public facing. What clues would we have had? Maybe something like that would have given us a hunch, but of course nobody had considered anything like that. So yeah, this being a 6 or 5 month plan tells you that it was not reactionary to something like that.
The announcement, in my opinion, is the only thing you can turn around and say is reactionary. But I would say that was more reactionary. Yeah, I would say that was only more reactionary to the fucking stock prices dropping than Microsoft buying it. Now, you could turn around and say there's correlation there. You could say there's correlation there. Obviously, people dropping stocks off Sony because of that purchase. But the only reason they announced it, in my opinion, was because the stock was pricing. The stock was tanking, and they needed to reassure investors.
I agree with that. They probably could have had a much more presentation-heavy version of an announcement.
I disagree with. No, the reason why I disagree with that is because they didn't throw. Okay, they bought them for less, but I would fucking say what you want, but this is how I view it. The purchase of Insomniac was a bigger deal at least for what it meant for Sony fans, than Bungie's acquisition is.
I agree.
I agree. So let me
And they didn't throw they didn't throw a parade for Insomniac.
Good point. Good point. That's a really good point. A little bit more to unpack here. So then I, of course, end up navigating to the PlayStation blog. You know, Herman Holst and Jim Ryan both have individual posts. Of course, then the CEO of Bungie has his own posts, and of course, we got to get into these juicy details about how Bungie will, quote unquote, remain completely independent, and that Destiny 2 will be on everything that it's on right now. It will not change cross-platform, cross-save. It will be very user-friendly. I find that at first I was like, huh? But I think about this. The PC community that plays Destiny 2, you cannot piss them off. I honestly think that's the lifeblood of the Bungie games. The games perform the best there. They're the most hardcore there. They're probably like, you know, their forums are probably like, you know, amazing. They get the most feedback. If it isn't the biggest install base for Destiny 2, it's close in second place.
Yeah. Like what walkthrough videos don't you see being played on PC? All of them.
Right.
All of them.
So to be honest, I was like, look, you don't want that community pissed off. You want them to still obviously take money. So then I started to think, well, okay, in general, this is not as big of a win for somebody who's hardcore into the PlayStation fan base, because it's really just Sony saying all that money that Bungie's making, we're making that money right now, and you might not see anything front facing. But long term, in my opinion, I think that the talent that might be pushing out the next Bungie game, I know, this is a 2025 game that we don't know of, right? And something else probably. Eventually, there could be other studios that could make there doesn't need to just be one key first-person shooter out of PlayStation first party. There could be two, or another great third-person type of game. And PlayStation's really good at moving talent, especially when a team gets together and wants to make something new. At Bungie being as big as it is, I think there's an opportunity for that. Let's say Firesprite wants to eventually do a first-person shooter. They can have maybe some Bungie staff want to go to Firesprite.
They have apparently 600 dev or something like that.
Right. So it's not like, well, of course, there's going to be a lot of manpower going into whatever 2025 is. But long-term, generationally, I think it prepares PlayStation for anything that Xbox might do with Call of Duty. Because it's very obvious to me, you guys tell me if I'm wrong, that the contract will certainly be fulfilled for Call of Duty. But times change. 5 years from now, they might be like, look, Warzone, y'all can have that. But this campaign, it's going to be on Xbox only, or it's somehow limited and costing PlayStation $1 to pay, and it's going to be all in Game Pass. And why would you get it on PlayStation, right? In terms of console versus console, I'm not going to worry about PC. So I think PlayStation's preparing themselves for if something like that happens, they're going to be like, yo, we need Bungie to make something, something that could compete. And I saw. Correct me if I'm wrong. I think they said of the 120 million PlayStation 4s that sold, like 1 out of every 5 PS4 owners owns Destiny 2 or owns either Destiny 1 and like one of the two games. That's huge, like attachment rate percentage.
They had a whole console for that fucking game. Like
yeah. Then again,
you got your exclusive strikes, your exclusive exotics. Like, man, I'm still mad. There's still strikes I can't play.
Then again, so the only fucking exclusive. Here's the thing. I'm not the biggest fan of those exclusive consoles, but I'll tell you something. The only one that I regret never actually pushing the button on getting was that Metal Gear Solid 5 one. Because even not being a Metal Gear, even if you weren't a Metal Gear Solid fan, like just overall the color and everything about that PS4 Metal Gear Solid console looked fucking good. I'm gonna get a picture of it on screen actually.
One last thing I'll say, and then I'll give it up, is I just want to reiterate that maybe and they make it seem like Bungie's very independent. I felt like you guys disagree with me, and I want you to if you feel. I feel like Bungie still very craftily in their Q&A made it seem like everything will come to PlayStation and PC, but maybe not Xbox. That's kind of how I took it in terms, not Destiny 2, but whatever comes in the future. Or they left it open enough that they might exclude Xbox sometime.
They have a way around it. They have a way around it, and basically what FC and Secure said, and it's basically PlayStation publish it and Bungie make it they can get around the whole every game we're gonna publish is gonna be multiplayer.
That is a way around it, but again, and I just want to bring note to. By the way, just also note that fucking console looks beautiful. Like it really fucking does. I'm sorry, I really like the look of this PlayStation 4. Anyway, so anyway, my point is, was I pointing the right way? No, I wasn't. It's right there. So anyway, it's the flexibility of the words they used. All games in development will remain multi-platform.
Somebody also came out and said all future games as well.
I don't recall seeing that.
There's ways about that.
Okay,
I posted it in the chat.
Man, do you see how much Omar just spams messages? That shit gets lost in fucking translation. This man just says, "Hold up, wait a minute, something ain't right." All in three different, all just in different fucking lines. Like each word has its own input. Like so that shit just scrolls up faster than my fucking DMs. Anyway. Yes, I agree with the workaround they could do, but you don't want to stretch Bungie too thin. Anyway, continue, please.
I mean, that was basically it for me. I think that for a while, things will be the same. Like Call of Duty is going to be the same. Bungie and their 2025 game and DLC and all this is going to be the same. But there's going to be a rift at some point where these two different ecosystems are going to need to go head to head. We may not see it till maybe the end of the gen when these games are out, but that's what I think. Both sides need to be ready for that. Obviously, Xbox has this huge influence that Call of Duty is. So they could just do whatever they want.
I have a theory about that, actually. I think, okay, so call me crazy. I'm fucking sure Farrell just is going to be secretly thinking it, and I think Jube is going to give me the side eye. I honestly think, personally, if Microsoft keep buying studios at the rate that they are, with the amount that they are, publishers and studios, whatever, because some of them have just been studios. Look at Double Fine. I honestly think that Microsoft might be gearing up to exit the console market and go right into a subscription service. See, I knew Jube was going to shake his head. I can feel him shaking his head, and I'm not even looking at him.
You're not the first one to say it.
You're not the first one to say it.
For the longest now.
It would not surprise me if there is no next Xbox and their main focus...
Yeah, go ahead, continue.
Thank you. If there is no next Xbox and they transition everything over to being Game Pass, so we do get Game Pass on PlayStation, but there is games locked behind the service. So if you want to play Call of Duty, you have to subscribe to Game Pass on PlayStation. Because it would make the reason why it's starting to make more and more sense in my head, in my twisted head, I should preference this, I have a very warped mind, is why bother spending all of the money on console R&D and manufacturing when you can literally slap Game Pass on everything else that's out there with the games that you can put behind it and just let the money roll in.
Can I offer a rebuttal to that?
Sony could say the same thing. Anybody could say that same.
Let me put it.
Hold on. Let me just rebuttal. Let me just on that point that anybody could do it, but nobody has the money to be able to buy up most of the goddamn industry like Microsoft. They don't. And not everybody has the infrastructure that Microsoft has to be able to do that. But go on, Jube, go ahead.
But Sony has the ability to abandon console and just be a software company.
So,
Sega did.
So what is Microsoft's bread and butter?
Game Pass at this
Windows.
point. Oh,
No,
Windows.
software.
Yeah, Windows.
Yeah,
Right?
Windows.
So
Microsoft. We're talking Microsoft.
With knowing that, Microsoft knows they don't have to make hardware, but they do. It doesn't fucking matter. How many billions of PCs have fucking Windows on them? A fuck ton.
Wait, what?
They still make surfaces. They make surfaces. They make hardware, and they don't need to, but they do. That right there shows me they're not just gonna stop making Xboxes.
Okay, the difference.
There's no need, and then there is no difference. We're still talking about proprietary like software and subscription services. Same with fucking Office. They don't need to make a single piece of hardware to make Office a fucking thing or a profit because everybody else does. You can get Office on Mac. You can get like PCs. Like there's no Microsoft fucking brand PC outside of Surface. So there's no need for them to make software, but they do because they can.
Hardware, you mean?
Yeah, I mean that's what I mean. Like there's no need for them to stop making hardware because they don't need to. They have the budget and the R&D for it. Like it doesn't really matter. Yes, the money comes in on software sales there, but they also know that hardware is a big part of that. Xbox is not going anywhere as long as Microsoft still exists.
That R&D gets written off on the expense.
Exactly.
It's not like we're saving money. Like you're saving money.
Yeah, you're not because otherwise, again, they would be completely out of hardware. We'd never see another Surface. It would just be Windows and Office, and then whatever Xbox and shit has going on. But no, they still make their own proprietary hardware because they can. They wouldn't be talking about making streaming sticks and shit if they were going to get completely out of the hardware business. That's still them putting R&D into hardware, even if it's not a fucking Xbox. Like they're not going to bow out of the hardware market.
I love how you're getting so heated over a thought. Just my external thoughts.
No, I'm not getting heated.
You legit sound like you're getting heated on it.
I just wanted you to know, like they could have bowed out of hardware a long time ago because they don't really need it because it's on everything, but they still make it because people want to buy it. When that stops, when people
making phones, Google doesn't need to make phones. You know,
they don't because Android and Apple make their phones. They could just literally make just the software like they do, but they also make hardware. They don't need to, but they do.
The Google Pixel is an excellent phone.
Oh, it's a fantastic phone for sure.
35 megapixel camera and night.
But with the Google Pixel, we can comfortably turn around and say that Google's spying on you through that phone anyway. Like that's spyware in a goddamn hardware form.
That's fine. You don't got spy
when Samsung and every other phone that has Android on it.
That's very true.
Exactly.
If you got Android, they don't need the hardware to do it. They need software to do it.
All right. Well, go on, Zero. Seeing as you started talking, what were your thoughts on this?
I like Kofi kind of thought it was fake. I was like well into my workday, and then it was y'all in our Twitter chat. I was like, "What are you talking about? Like, why are they talking about Bungie? They don't play Bungie games." And I was like, because I didn't at the time see like Jube didn't say anything. I was like, "What are you talking about?"
I didn't see it until I saw it in our chat, and I'm like "Word? When?"
Wait, what? So I immediately stop what I'm doing and like go to Twitter. And I'm like, are you kidding me? Like, Bungie. I have the biggest love-hate relationship with Bungie, man. Like, I appreciate that they seem to just be finessing the industry at this point. And like, I can't wait in 5 to 6 years when they're like, yeah, and we're leaving Sony. And we dipped out just like they dipped out on Xbox.
Have they made it 5 years with anyone?
I don't know how long they were with.
It's like they make a game. It's like they make a game with them and then they dip.
Okay, right.
Yeah. They were with Halo. Exactly. Okay, Halo.
Yeah, they were with Microsoft for.
Well, they weren't a part of Xbox though. Like Xbox never owned Bungie.
No, they didn't. But they worked. But they worked exclusively on Halo for a good solid 9 years.
Like 9 years.
9 years. Even
Then they were with Activision. Activision bought them.
No, hold on.
They made.
I don't think Activision bought them. I think that was a exclusive thingy partnership.
Yeah, Bungie has been out here finessing these like they getting everybody to sign the prenup. So they don't have to give up anything when they give out.
Like based on the statements that were made in this by both companies, it seems like Bungie has a pretty strong contract on the terms of this acquisition.
Yeah. Okay. So
it doesn't seem
it was a publishing deal. It was after 8 years. It was a publishing deal with Activision. They didn't buy them out. It was just a publishing deal.
Right.
Okay.
And like those of us who played Destiny 2, you could sort of feel some of Activision's influence.
That is why that to me because here's the thing, we talk about like they use like they've been with all these studios and then they just leave. With each one, there's seemingly been a reason. With Microsoft, they just didn't want to work on Halo no more. That's pretty much everybody here knows that as gospel. They just didn't want to work on Halo no more. They feel like they've done everything. With Activision, well, it was just Activision being Activision. I think any of us would want out of that fucking deal.
Yeah.
And like I said, they were in that partnership for how long did I just say it was? It was 8 years, was it?
9 years.
9 years. Yeah, so they were in that partnership for 9 years. So, you know, it's not like they just pumped out a game and then dipped. Like they were trying to work through
games, right? Halo 1, 2, 3.
No.
Activision time.
During Activision time, it was Destiny 1 and 2, and then they dipped because they were like
3 years.
I don't want to deal with this shit no more.
Yeah. So I mean, I would find it absolutely hilarious if in another 8 or so years, Bungie dips off from Sony as well.
They back off as independent.
Back on that bullshit.
You can see
they've been doing
$3.6 billion bag, and we dipped.
Yeah, and we did.
The only bag they didn't take with them was fucking Halo.
Really quick, I feel like, I mean, it's totally possible, right, considering their history, but I feel like Sony is thinking about something like that too. They're like, look, making them platform exclusive is a mistake. We've had studios close under us, and then they look at the same relationship like Kojima, and now Bungie has had with publishers they hate, and they're like, look, we don't want to break up over this, so we're going to give you your freedom. At least that's what they're publicly saying right now, and do what you want. And I think that's the only way it's going to work for more than a year. I mean, I think this is going to be a generational.
Very true.
Here's the thing:
Bungie
can they just bow out of this though? Because like
there's a contingency.
Even though there's
I'm sure it depends on the contract.
That's what I'm curious. I'm curious about the contract. That's what I'm curious about the contract, because this is a purchase, or this is a purchase of the studio itself. With some finagling in the contract, but this is a straight purchase of Bungie, where they get to remain as an independent subsidiary under Sony.
Which is like,
so I don't think
has clauses.
I don't think they can just pack up and go. Like, I don't think Bungie themselves can just pack up and move the fuck on, because like Sony owns them. Like even if they remain an independent subsidiary, like Sony still owns their soul, so they can't just pick up the building and fucking leave. Like the people inside the studio can probably pick up. Again, yes, it depends on the contract, but in my mind, I feel like the condition for them to remain a independent subsidiary is that they can't just pick up Bungie and fuck off.
Yeah, I don't.
Does that make sense?
No, it most likely
it would. They probably can't pick up and leave with IPs they created under.
Or the Bungie name. Or the Bungie name is my point. They can't leave with the Bungie name or the IPs or anything like that.
It depends.
Probably not.
Yeah,
unless they have a
I know it depends. I know it
Yeah.
depends, Pharaoh. You keep saying that, and I just said multiple times. I agree. I know it depends. It's the thing that just makes the most sense from everything that I'm reading. And again, inside my warped mind, that Sony has bought out the studio, so they own the souls, they own the name, and they probably own the IPs under that, and are getting a kickback revenue from stuff like Destiny.
Yeah,
and,
I don't
and
think
to remain, and so Bungie could remain as an independent, and all of that they get in exchange for Bungie being able to remain as an independent subsidiary.
Yeah, I don't think PlayStation is stupid enough to not see this move and think ahead of time. Like, I'm pretty sure on the contract, if Bungie dipped out, they would lose a lot of stuff. Like, PlayStation
resources.
There's a lot of collateral in this. There's a lot of.
Bungie apparently isn't stupid either.
Both of them were sure to fucking. Both of them were clearly in this. I think we can all agree. in this, both of them were clearly smart enough to fucking write a prenup.
Yes, and like
Well,
it's all fun and jokes. Like, who knows what will happen? Like, in my personal headcanon, I love because they've already done it before. I love the idea of Bungie just walking away and like, you can keep the name. We're just going to rename ourselves Marathon. Same exact folks. Do it all over again.
No, that's what I feel like. If the scenario was to play out, that is what I feel it would that would happen.
They would just they would up and leave.
Yeah,
and PlayStation would be left with like, I guess what would we do with this? In the same way
an
that,
empty building.
And they would try to make it work in the same way that Xbox tried to make Halo work, and like to varying successes. It's just my headcanon personally.
Can they not get sued then because of that move then?
Again, that depends on the contract.
Can you get sued for quitting a job?
If you look at this agreement, like just at like initial glance without anything on top of it, I mean, you kind of see that like Bungie walked out of this deal with quite a bit of power as an independent studio within Sony. They have more power than fucking Naughty Dog right now, like what they're able to do. So
I'm not saying there's no power, but that's also a lot of money.
Yeah, it makes sense. Like if you just paid attention specifically to Bungie's history, and they do not shy about saying it. They don't tend to. They like to do what they want to do. They don't want people in their stuff. Like I remember, part of the Xbox documentary showed like when Bungie was there, like it was a frat house, dog. Like we got to do whatever we wanted to do, and like what we didn't want to do anymore is make Halo, so we rolled on out.
We're like Blizzard, but less rapey.
Yes, for the most part.
You know the crazy part is apparently Microsoft tried to buy them, and they said no because they wanted to be independent.
So two things lead me to believe on that front, because I do believe that is something worth discussing. Is the sudden change of heart on obviously from what changed between Microsoft asking to buy them out and now. So, in my opinion, one or two things happened. There might be others, but in my head, there's only two possibilities. One, but Microsoft wanted to own them wholesale, like you exclusive to us, and Bungie looked to them like, we good, nah.
Yeah, because they wanted to own they wanted to stay independent, and Microsoft was like, no.
Yeah. So I feel like that might be one of the reasons. Like they basically wanted to fucking Bethesda them. Cannibalism, awful. But the Sony deal allows them to keep that sense and air of autonomy around them. The other reason I could think of, and thinking back, this might be the lesser idea, but. How much Sony paid for them, because honestly I would have expected Bungie would be worth more than they are.
So maybe
is that Bungie between then and now found themselves in somewhat of a financial hole, and a purchase made more sense now than it did when Microsoft tried to approach them.
Apparently Microsoft tried to approach them in 2020.
Other way around. Bungie approached them.
It was the other way around. Bungie went to Microsoft and they offered a deal for $2.6 billion.
Okay, so if it's the other way around, then yeah, it seems like Bungie just got a better deal, got the deal they wanted with PlayStation, with Sony rather than Microsoft.
Microsoft, yeah.
Yeah, and PlayStation have been trying to acquire almost like a game as a live service studio for the longest now. They tried that.
They already have one with Firesprite now.
They tried that with Warframe, and they got outbid by Tencent, I believe.
Oh, is that true?
Yeah. I remember reporting. I remember reading it, and I remember saying it on VGP that it was basically it was a rumor, but it became reality. And the other thing, and again, as a PlayStation fan, I'm not getting anything out of it. But this is literally PlayStation and also Xbox in general thinking ahead. This is a future move. This is not a now move. Well, with the revenue PlayStation is getting from Destiny, okay, fair enough. But I'm talking about what are they gonna do long term? And I'm genuinely curious if they might actually get an agreement with Xbox, putting Halo, Destiny, and the rest of Bungie games on Xbox for the what's called for Call of Duty or something like that, on some other game. I truly believe. Let me continue my point. I truly believe we are ushering an era of exclusivity being gone. I believe both Microsoft and Xbox and PlayStation are looking at giants like Tencent, giants like what's the other game? That's the other big giants that have more than 10 studios now. Something with
Nexon.
Yeah, I forgot what's its name, but it's also a big giant that have almost like what more than 10 studios. Like they're big, and they're also still on the hunt for buying more studios. I believe. Yeah, go ahead, Dante. What do you want to say?
What you're effectively saying is, what you're basically saying is we've got to prepare ourselves for Console War 2 Electric Boogaloo, where the American and Japanese team up against the Chinese.
Basically, this is as much as it's a joke. I don't think it's Chinese only. There's also Amazon, and we don't know what Apple is doing. Apple is apparently rumored, not rumored. Apparently, they collected XDev from Microsoft, and they want to build their own machine. Like the landscape.
It will never. The Apple one for me will never work. The reason why is, let me finish. Hold on. There's a reason why. It's a joke answer, but it's also a serious answer. The reason why I don't believe the fucking the Apple one will work. One, they've tried before. Second, like every other fucking Apple product, it will most likely cost you an absorbent fucking amount for a product that's already beaten by other products that do what that does, but better, and at a fucking half the price.
If you are
Apple and you strong arm yourself and you buy a Capcom or an EA or stuff like that, you're gonna have people go to your platform.
They'll never buy EA. They'll never buy EA, because if that's the one true thing about the devil, is that he doesn't sell his soul, he buys other people's souls.
Yeah, EA is worth more than Activision. Like, you're talking about $100 billion purchase, and Sony's only worth like $150 billion.
I'm talking about Apple.
That is corporate suicide.
I'm not talking about.
He's talking about Apple buying.
I'm not talking about Sony. I'm talking about Apple buying EA.
Apple's not buying EA.
I mean, is there something wrong with Apple buying a game company?
Yeah, because fuck Apple.
What I mean,
there's nothing wrong with Apple buying a game company, but there would be something wrong with Apple buying a game company and releasing a console without knowing anything about.
Not just that, but let's be fair. Let's be fair.
Did that.
Apple,
Google did that. Google even
what
hired.
Game company did Google? What game company did Google buy, and how did that work out?
They didn't buy, but they hired a lot of.
Yeah, they hire people.
And they even tried to create exclusive, and to the point they actually had to shut down because they didn't know how to do it.
Like, here's the thing.
So they're gonna start.
What the? Are you fucking serious?
What happened?
I'm looking at EA's net worth. I'm looking at Yo, these numbers can't be right. I would expected EA to be a bit more.
Yeah, they were only worth like $37 billion.
Yeah,
they're not. No, they're not even worth that. They're worth less than fucking. They're worth less than 25. According to this, if I'm looking at this right, in total equity, total assets, and net income, like that only cracks 21 billion.
But remember, companies by other companies.
Their market cap in the U.S. was 33.5. I checked today.
But you also don't pay market rate. You are going to pay more than what?
Yeah,
you're going to pay more than.
No, I would have thought
the stock price. The stock price is like at $130.
Oh no, I get that, but my point is, I thought they would have at least been around the 40 billion, and the only reason I thought that is because they have such a fucking stranglehold on the sports goddamn game industry. The amount of microtransactions they fucking stockpile that shit with, and then again they did lose the Star Wars license.
So they have to have those microtransactions to afford the fucking sports license. I'm pretty sure.
Those
That's pretty much where that money goes.
Here is what I believe now. I have the feeling we might see a team up with PlayStation and Microsoft. Yeah. Because this, you don't. Why would PlayStation pay 3-point-something billion for a multiplayer? As much as they're getting revenue out of it, they're literally getting multiplayer. That's what they're getting.
Not Apple, not Amazon. Don't buy it.
That's literally.
Here's the thing. It being
so
multiplayer is going to lead to more sales.
So what they're paying for is to integrate aspects of Bungie's culture into their own. They want.
I agree with that.
They want to get into live service. They want to. What did Jim Ryan? What's the word that Jim Ryan used? He wants to get into live service, and what's the other word he used?
Outside of console.
He didn't say multi-platform. He said multi-format. He said multi-format.
Yeah, multi-format publishing. So
yeah, I'm
he's
glad.
trying to integrate. They're trying to integrate that in, and then they also see the potential of the IPs to let Sony Pictures do some work with those. So I mean, it's a multifaceted deal.
I'm actually glad that they did it with Bungie and not have a Naughty Dog or a Santa Monica work on a game.
Exactly, Omar. Exactly. You would hate to go to a dev studio that has a certain culture and be like, "You guys are going live service now."
No. Those studios are going to learn how to do live service from Bungie.
No. I think you're mistaken.
No.
Yes. It's definitely going to happen.
I think they'll learn how to do multiplayer from Bungie.
Yeah.
I think
That be live service, sure. But
but
hold on,
multiplayer will evolve.
The problem there is they already had fucking Guerrilla Games. The multiplayer for Killzone was pretty goddamn good. So they could have learned it from Guerrilla Games.
Yeah, but
That's
again,
true. But
Guerrilla making Horizon now.
Yeah.
Killzone 3.
Once you start making multiplayer, it's gonna evolve into live service.
He's not wrong there. Look at the fucking industry as a whole.
Look at our prime example is look at factions.
I was about to turn around and say they bought Bungie just to make factions too.
Yeah, factions came out as a mode on Last of Us, and right now it's pretty much almost guaranteed that is going to be not even a separate mode. It's going to be its own game at this point that you have to pay for it.
I agree with that. Or for another example in your favorite Pharaoh is let's say there's a multiplayer Tsushima expansion and it goes live service. That's fine. But what Omar is saying is that the core development teams that are out there making specific story narrative driven games, those will remain doing those things. Right? We're still going to see.
The thing is,
he's not. He was saying he doesn't like the idea of saying Tsushima, you're no longer making open world narrative games or whatever you want to make. You're just making a service multiplayer game. That's what he doesn't want.
That's what I don't want.
I'm sure. See, Sucker Punch and Naughty Dog showed Sony something that they can make that narrative-driven game and add that multiplayer function to it. And if you can add a live service component on top of that, I'm telling you. Sucker Punch and Naughty Dog.
It's going to be team specific. Firewatch will do it, or Jade Raymond's team will do it. But I still think there's going to be a core.
Naughty Dog's going to end up doing it, and watch. They're going to do it with Ghost of Tsushima too.
I'm going to say
they're going to do it too. They're going to do that multiplayer.
I don't know. Here's the thing.
It's going to be live service.
Here's the thing. Same could be said for Microsoft with Activision because they're obviously a lot of the team at Activision is definitely going to be telling other parts of Xbox the Microsoft games. This is how you do live service properly to milk the fuck out of stuff. Look at our battle pass system. The amount of fucking idiots we get buying this.
Yep.
I was about to say that is
Hey.
is going to show how I'm doing it the right way because 343's been trying.
The
They just
kitten
haven't-
is
Yeah,
there.
but the problem with 343's model is they do it right.
But the thing is,
Not
the
right
thing
for
is,
us. Not for
Not right
The
for
final
profit.
point-
Microsoft doing live service won't feel as invasive because of Game Pass. Like, well, I already got the game free.
Nah,
so I
that's
don't like
bullshit.
it.
That's bullshit.
Yeah, I don't like that
Look at-
idea.
Look at Halo.
It is-
No.
it is-
You're saying because I spend less, it feels
No.
fine.
Yes,
That's
we're seeing it with
absolutely
Halo.
bullshit.
Everyone and their mama got the Halo
But
battle
I
pass.
pray
that
Halo is
Absolutely
not the norm.
bullshit. Look at Halo.
I pray Halo's
No.
not the norm.
No,
And then you
absolutely bullshit. Look at Halo.
You look at Forza Horizon 5. Everyone got that premium pass.
But at least Forza Horizon 5 is like a complete campaign, like building on what Ford.
I'm not saying that it won't have a complete campaign, but I'm saying when you give them free content, they don't feel bad about buying content in the game. Well, the game it's not even free content. When you put it
You're basically turning around and saying they're gonna start
It's like-
guilt tripping people to buy fucking microtransactions.
They're not guilt tripping.
Yeah, like,
they're not guilt
you can
tripping. But I'm
imagine,
saying people don't think about it as much when it's already in the, like they already got the game. They didn't have to pay for the game.
I just know
Well,
like
they
the
have to pay for some
reputation of a
content
specific IP really like it's important to like maintain the quality that you had from your previous iteration. 5 basically does everything 4 did but better. But like Halo Infinite, it's missing things that 5 did well, right? Like campaign co-op. And I feel like I just don't want that to be the norm for a service-based game to
It's not missing them. They're just in development.
No, see, I don't like that. I don't like that
It's not
forgivefulness. I don't want to be forgiving.
And taking gold in the mental gymnastics at the Olympics goes to Pharaoh for his amazing wordplay.
If you're gonna have to
I'm
do
like,
this,
bro, you guys know I'm not the Halo guy, but I guarantee you, people that are the Halo guys would rather have the game right now and get co-op 6 months down the road than wait until all the way until next November to get it.
it's true. But
I mean,
like, again,
people playing it right now.
Those
They
were also
happy
the
as hell
same
playing
people
it.
who bought it on Game Pass as well.
yeah, but also the people who were highly disappointed in the battle pass. Like, you can't just slap a battle pass on anything and call it a day. Like, because Fortnite, Apex, and Warzone all have battle passes to varying degrees. There's a reason why people zeroed in on Halos, because even for a battle pass, it was kind of weak. It was some. It was
Hold on. And the thing is, hold on, wait. Let me specifically zone in on that Call of Duty one. And at least with the Call of Duty one, you don't need to play like a lot of the upgrades are for just Vanguard, but there's also upgrades for Warzone in that, and you don't even need to play Warzone or Vanguard to make progress in that battle pass. You can play Modern Warfare or Black Ops Cold War to get progress done in that battle pass because it's all universal.
Okay, and a final thing I'm gonna say is, and you're gonna like that, this one, Kofi. With what Jim Ryan said, or Hammond Host, that except more acquisition, I would not be surprised if I wake up and I hear they acquired either Capcom
I'll slap you.
or Square Enix.
I will fucking slap him. Give me this man's location.
Yeah.
Give me this man's location. I just want to slap him. I swear to God, I've opened a policy. I'm slapping every motherfucker that turns around and says they're buying Square Enix. Because at this point, it's like turning around and saying Father Christmas exists. Unless you can show me that son of a bitch, it ain't fucking real. So stop talking about it.
Can we
I believe that companies want to buy Square, and I believe companies are trying to buy Square.
And also,
Square want to sell. It's a matter of does Square want to sell. I'm sure a lot of people are reaching out.
It's more realistic to think that someone will buy the games division of Konami.
And also, there is a reason why Square is not doing that so well. Like, they fucked up with Avenger. They're milking Final Fantasy VII to death.
They're not doing bad. They're just not doing great.
No,
they have a hit and a flop, a hit and a flop,
Yes,
a hit and a flop.
Actually,
Outriders did well. Outriders did well, even though it is not a good game, it still did well.
Uh,
Final
Here's the
Fantasy
thing.
VII did well.
Oh, yeah, Final
Final
Fantasy
Fantasy
VII.
VII did well.
Oh, yeah, Final
Nier
Fantasy VII.
Automata did well. Nier Replicant is doing like these games are doing
It's
well.
Yeah,
here's the thing.
Avengers is
but
the
they
only
also
like, real
but they
major
also
flop.
but they also have issues. Like for example, Nier Replicant on PC is a disaster, and
Okay,
Final Fantasy
Horizon on PC was a disaster. Them being bought by PlayStation isn't going to necessarily fix that.
and Final
Like,
Fantasy VII
acquisition doesn't
Remake
necessarily
is a
solve
disaster.
their issues.
No. I think, this is my opinion. I believe Square Enix is in trouble not per se financially in trouble, but more like they genuinely don't have a lot of money, which is why we're seeing what we're seeing with them focusing on the past with Final Fantasy.
So,
Like, how many
Here's
Final
my
Fantasy?
thing.
Like,
If they're in financials, here's the thing. We'll know if they're in a financial situation if we hear troubling reports after Forspoken comes out and it fails. Because here's the thing. As much as because Pharaoh, you're right, they've had hits, misses. But the problem is the two misses that they've had recently probably cost them a fuckload of money. That being Avengers and Guardians of the Galaxy, and that did fail commercially.
Galaxy didn't sell.
It's a commercial failure.
It's a commercial
it's
failure.
a commercial
No,
failure,
I'm
yeah.
not saying, no. Hold on. No. We're talking financials. Don't bring up what it did well with fans. That doesn't mean shit when it comes to financials.
Yeah.
It financially did not do well. It did better than Avengers from what I've heard, but Avengers was a big fucking crater of money that they lost because of how bad it did. That's two misses.
And the reason Guardians did bad is because Avengers did bad.
And I'm not. Yes,
Avengers
and you
would
are
have done
absolutely
well.
right.
I believe that.
He is right. No, he is absolutely right. There is no ifs, ands, or buts about it. Avengers soured everybody on that, and the problem is, it doesn't look like Square's getting any better because I mean, not only goddamn, we all keep forgetting about it. Chaos! Fucking, they got Final Fantasy fucking Paradise Lost coming out.
I'm gonna get that game, but I think it might be
Paradise, yeah.
That game won't be fucking trash.
Is it gonna be
I
trash?
don't think it'll flop. I don't think
It's not gonna flop. That's Final Fantasy 1, bro. That ain't gonna flop.
Again,
what I'm saying is, I don't think it's gonna flop because it's a low budget game.
You're smart. It's not only that. And Team Ninja is on fire. Team Ninja is doing well, man. Neo 2 sold well.
We'll have to see. We'll have to
considering
see.
it.
We'll have to see because there was
Final Fantasy.
Yeah, it's not very expensive.
that Final Fantasy game was not well received, like at all.
Which one?
Final Fantasy Paradise.
Strangers in Paradise.
Yeah,
Stranger in Paradise, really?
Well,
Wait, hold on.
because they killed it with the damn demo not working when they.
Not just that, but
but the game looked way better now. The game looked hot.
Yeah, no.
You see that trailer?
The game look now like a fucking Final Fantasy game.
Yeah,
but
look at the latest gameplay. That don't look hot.
But the problem
like a
is,
Final Fantasy game to me at all.
but the problem,
I don't
hold
know
on,
about
Kofi.
They don't matter.
But the problem
right
is,
now, Neo fans are freaking out. Neo fans are freaking out.
That's fine. But the problem is this is trying to puncture the Final Fantasy market, which the majority of people in that Final Fantasy market just want fucking Part 2 out already. Like this might scratch the itch of a select few who will give it a try, and people who like Neo. But for Final Fantasy fans, they're just gonna look at it and think, "What the fuck is this shit?" Because they did the same thing. As much as I like it, they did the same thing with Dirge of Cerberus. People looked at it and like, "What the fuck is this?" And not just that. First impressions is always the best. And what was the first impression everybody got? Chaos!
I feel you. I feel like that helped it. I feel like that controversy helped it now.
I'm expecting this game to be 80 on meta. And I will say one last thing, which is about Square.
Going back to the point, it can be an 88 on meta all at once. If this game financially does not do well, that's a third sinkhole for Square Enix. Then we need to bring up, trying to stay on topic, then we've got Forspoken. Like, I'm sure Forspoken's
more.
I'm sure that cost them a
I have the feeling Forspoken is
no.
get delayed.
I feel like Stranger in Paradise is going to be profitable. Forspoken, I think maybe it'll take a little bit longer.
But like, here's the thing. My point is
I think Stranger in Paradise will be profitable because I don't think put a lot of money into it.
But
Yeah, I agree, Pharaoh. It's going to be
okay, fine, but it's not going to be profits. It's not. Again, I'm trying to set up a series of events for you guys. And I keep getting interrupted. We had Avengers, which was basically a fucking crater. We got to try and fill that crater. Guardians didn't fill that fucking crater because that failed as well. Then you've also got Paradise Lost. Sure, that's profitable for a low budget, but even if it's profitable, you've still got to throw that money in that fucking hole to try and fill it, and I guarantee you it's not going to fill that fucking hole. But Spoken, if that comes out, and Omar even bought this up, early previews of Forspoken have not been fucking glowing. I don't give a shit if it's an 88 on Metacritic or anything like that. If it financially does not do well, you are not filling up that gigantic Avengers-sized crater. So that's
why I wanted to say.
That right there, because then they've also got to put. Then they're also digging more holes because they got to finance fucking part 7, part 2 to finally come out. If it is finished and is coming out this year, then fine. You've already fucking dug that hole deeper to making that game. Don't care how much of a fucking asset flip it is.
And especially you have Final Fantasy 16. We don't know how that game is gonna be.
Exactly. So here's the thing.
16 is going to do well. It's going to do
Again, it doesn't matter if they do well. They've got an Avengers-sized crater that they need to fill, that they're digging deeper because they're making all of these games that they need to make sure are profitable enough that they can start filling that hole back that they keep digging. So that's why I'm saying that if all of these games... So finally, people are getting what I'm saying. So if this hole just keeps getting deeper and fucking deeper, this Avengers-sized hole gets deeper and deeper, and there's no chance of filling it, that's why I'm saying after Forspoken, if that fails and doesn't fill in this crater that they made for themselves, then if we hear troubling news, it would not surprise me if they start looking for a purchase.
Yeah, that's why I feel that, as for the Avengers, Guardians of the Galaxy, it didn't help that when it was first showcased, it was abysmal.
It was the Switch version.
That was. It's like, and also this game absolutely needed a demo. A demo would have helped it by a lot.
But as we've seen, Square Enix can't do demos.
And the problem is, at that point, it became because people were burnt from Avengers so much, they were not gonna trust another IP from Square when it comes to superhero games, and it's such a shame and sad situation because after finishing Avengers, this is for me an 80 plus on Meta, if not more. That's how much fun I had with that game. And the reason why I said when it comes to Capcom, go ahead.
No, go ahead, finish up. I thought you were done.
Just a final thing about Capcom. The reason why I name dropped Capcom is because last year PlayStation hired the director of the ex-director head of
That's
Capcom.
who they need to purchase.
Shuwata or something like that. And he is the same dude that actually broke deals the like of Lost Odyssey for Xbox and Blue Dragon. So I'm expecting big things.
So what you're saying is a stellar record.
If Sony's gonna purchase a publisher, they need to purchase Capcom. They can't afford to lose Street Fighter because they own Evo now. They can't afford to lose the fighting genre.
They can't lose. They can't afford to lose the JRPG genre as well.
They have a lot of options when it comes to JRPGs.
They do.
Losing the whole fighting market would be a much bigger blow than losing Final Fantasy at this point.
I
Because
disagree.
they own Evo, that means that no PlayStations are at that event. That means that, like if Xbox bought Capcom, that means you have to buy Series X's, literally.
If we're thinking Square Enix and Capcom, both could be bought.
Not necessarily, because a lot of the shows do a lot of the events don't necessarily. I mean, the last time I checked, they were using a lot of PCs at the time because for one, a lot of them just ran better in a more consistent frame rate, which is what's needed in a fighting game.
But here's the thing: if Capcom's owned by, say, Microsoft, not to say that that's going to happen, but if it does happen, they're going to have to pay to be able to play that game at their own event. That's not a good look.
Evo has to do that anyway.
Right. Yeah, I see what you're saying.
And you're promoting Xbox, like you're pretty much having an event to promote Xbox. Like that just can't happen. Like that's what I'm saying.
On your dime.
If they are going to acquire a publisher, I think the most important one for them to lock up right now because of the whole Evo thing.
Yeah,
I think it would be Capcom. I think
they also need to do Arc System Works. I feel like they do big publishings in Japan too.
That would be
Sony is big enough to if Square left, they could find a RPG developer and they could prop them up with some money.
Yes, I keep telling you, level 5 is the answer.
Yeah, level 5
is the answer, and they won't do it.
But I'm saying, if Square were to leave, Sony still has options. Sony doesn't have any options if Street Fighter leaves. That's what I'm saying. It's a bigger deal. And it's not just Street Fighter. You also lose Resident Evil too. That's also pretty big.
If Square leaves, though, that's a big blow. Big. It
is a massive blow. It is
because
a
remember, AAA RPG developers are scarce. I mean, JRPG.
Yeah, but the thing is, if Sony really wants to, they can partner and make level 5, like you said, a AAA.
Yeah, level 5 literally could be the best. They are so talented. I just unbelievable.
Yeah, so I'm not like. Believe me.
Like imagine White Knight Chronicles with these type of
the thing with PlayStation is they're focusing on IP, on brand names. So a game level 5. Yeah, go ahead.
I got curious because I wanted to see how big of a hole they'd lose in.
I was about to ask you.
Yeah, because I got really curious. Let me go back to 2019 as well because I was looking at the cancelled 2020 lineup as well.
Are you talking about?
I'm looking at Capcom's representation at Evo, and by looks of it, they'd lose one game.
Yeah, which is
the biggest game.
That's the biggest.
No, it isn't. I'm sorry. I gotta absolutely disagree with you because I think even Zero will come to my defense. It is not the biggest draw because fucking Smash is still there.
No.
How much money is Smash giving out in a pot?
Yeah,
though?
Smash
I'm talking about fucking money.
Yeah, Smash is only a big draw.
What's the
one game? I lost it.
Most people don't come to Evo for Smash.
Hold on, let me have a
They
look.
don't.
There's also Mortal Kombat.
So
There's also Mortal Kombat and Tekken.
So even yes,
but what are the pots?
What they have?
What are the prize pools?
Let me have a look because I've got Polygon telling me that Smash Brothers Ultimate was the biggest game at Evo 2019.
Yeah.
And there is
probably by attendance.
Blood has had a chance.
What
Blood is back.
Hold on.
there is a lot. There is also
okay, so they actually have a full. Hold on, wait. Growing the popularity, registered players. Let me see. Was because they've actually got a full list of how many people registered to play the game, which I also think is indicative. Street Fighter came in second with applications. It barely drew more than Tekken 7 in 2019.
What is the pot?
That
is my question.
Well, let me look because I don't think they exactly give those out.
What is the prize money?
If Capcom, if the PlayStation lost Capcom, they can always pick up the company that just did Demon Slayer. They can make a deal with Warner Brothers when it comes to Mortal Kombat. They can go to the Tekken route. Like they have a lot of options.
It's only three big real fighting names if you ask me, and that's Tekken, Mortal Kombat, Street Fighter. Everything else.
Because here's the thing that pot is determined.
Everything else.
if you make the game, you put up the money for the pot for that game. So Nintendo puts up the Smash pot. Capcom puts up the Street Fighter pot.
NetherRealm Studios puts up theirs.
Yeah, who's putting up the biggest pot?
Right,
That is
so
the
the largest cash pools ever. I think this is largest cash pools. Yeah, because it even shows the year at the Evo. So in Evo 2015, it was Ultimate Street Fighter 4 with 72,000. Evo 2019, it was Street Fighter 5 Arcade Edition with 69. Third place was in third place. The largest cash was Evo 2015. Mortal Kombat X did 61,000. Evo 2017 was Injustice 2 with 58.
That's Warner Brother.
With 58,000. In fifth place was Evo 2016 with Mortal Kombat XL with 57,000. In sixth place, this is actually one to your point, even though they don't fucking do anything with it, was Evo 2015 with Killer Instinct, which was 53,000, sorry. Then in 2019 was Samurai Showdown with 47.
Yeah, Sam Show.
Yep, they're in the top 10 of biggest cash
Sam
prizes.
Show's great.
So hold on. In the same year as in 2019 was also Smash Brothers Ultimate with 37,000. 2014 was Blaze Blue with 35,000. 2015 Tekken 7, Jesus Christ, I forgot how old that game is, with 34,000. Mortal Kombat, and then finally back down to Street Fighter in 12th place with 29,000. So I mean, cumulatively, if we're actually looking at this with an unbiased lens, because that's what we should try and do. No, they really would not lose that much, because in the top 25, Capcom only shows up 1, 2, 4 times out of 25. Everybody else is literally either Mortal Kombat, and I can link you this, Jube. Every other
looking at it right now, because Smash is in there, what, 3 times in the top 25? Fuck off. Like,
it's hard to believe. You might be wrong. But yeah, like, again, all the rest of this is filled out by, and I think this is on esportsearnings.com. If anybody else wants to check this, because they've even got they've even got the earnings of top players, with Sonic Fox being up there with 100,000. But yeah, I mean, everything else is either Guilty Gear.
Do you know what game Sonic Fox plays?
What?
Do you know what game Sonic Fox plays?
He plays
Mortal Kombat.
Plays Mortal Kombat.
Fighters.
Yeah, he plays Injustice.
I was like, to be fair, Sonic Fox plays all games. He's like,
they even have his breakdown by game. They show you exactly how much he made.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
exactly.
He made a. Let's see. Yep.
Oh.
He doesn't play Street Fighter though.
Exactly.
He doesn't. That's okay.
But there's my point. But there's the whole point. As much as you like to,
he made $500 off of Street Fighter because he's terrible at it. He plays other games.
Oh my god! Here we go.
He's better at Mortal Kombat. He's way better at Mortal Kombat.
Some of excuses. But my point is, it's
guys, really quick. I'm sorry. I have to. I gotta sign off. So I'm
sure. But it is just looking at the numbers, because we now have the facts. It is an undisputable fact.
The fact is, Street Fighter is still the top. My whole point is, it's still the top. That's the money.
But one.
It doesn't matter. That's where the money is.
But he's not the only player.
Right now, that's where the money is.
And he's clearly not where he's going, because looking at the lineup number.
So do the math. Is it number one in earnings? That's my question. The answer is yes. Yes, it is. It's the biggest pool. That's my point. It's the biggest pool. That's all that matters. It's the biggest pool.
You just needed that win, didn't you? You just really need that. You just needed to.
You're talking about fighting games, bro.
Yes,
get out my realm.
We're talking fighting games, and I'm looking at the numbers. I'm looking at the numbers. I'm also looking at the falling. I'm also looking at the falling attendance, as well as the falling applications for Street Fighter. Meaning
it's
that
not just Street Fighter. Evo in general has falling attendance. Like, it's not just Street Fighter.
Evo's attendance, I believe, went up in 2019. The only reason that it didn't happen in 2020, if you're about to ask why they didn't have it in 2020, is because of the fucking sexual harassment scandal, and that's when Sony bought them out.
Okay, it again. Did it dip? It's just point blank. Street Fighter still top. If they lose it, it's going to hurt.
If PlayStation loses,
but if they lose, here's the problem. If they lose it, it's not factually. If they lose it, it's not it's not the biggest hole that they can't fill up. That's the problem.
They can fill it.
Well, the
They
fighting
can
community is gonna. The fighting community goes where Street Fighter goes, and they'll get Mortal Kombat and Tekken.
They'll settle. They'll settle for Mortal Kombat and Tekken. Yes, they
Mortal
will.
Kombat, Tekken, Dragon Ball FighterZ.
Is Tekken multi-platform?
Yes.
That feels like an exclusive.
Tekken 7 is multi-plat.
Tekken hasn't been PlayStation only for a long time.
Because they also have other fighting games that are not mentioned here, like Virtual Fighter's going to be coming out. King of Fighters also hasn't been at Evo for a while. Like
PlayStation have a choice to choose with Treyarch. They would get a lot of IPs. They would also be able to inject some of their own IPs because they own what's called well, basically they can use their leverage when it comes to anime to create anime fighting games. Like they can plan this well, and there's a lot of demand for anime fighting games that done right. Look at DBZ. Right now, it's still getting updated.
I want a sequel, but it's still getting updated. I'll take it.
We just got Demon Slayer. That's getting updated. And there is also another game in the making from the.
Is Demon Slayer selling well? I don't hear.
Demon Slayer's not. It's okay. It's not great. It's
netcode is garbage though.
Yeah,
it's netcode is garbage.
Wait, so which one?
Like Dragon Ball, like Dragon Ball is riding on its name more than its game. I mean, it's a good game, but
Dragon Ball's riding on Arc System Works because they make excellent fighting games.
Exactly, and that's another thing.
It's a good game. I have fighters.
It's actually Dragon Ball FighterZ is actually gaining popularity because of how good it is. Because here's the thing: as far as like and I don't think Jubei could argue with this because he wants to talk about being in the fighting game scene. The fighting game community talks to each other, so they do like post up and talk about like what games are amazing and best to play. And Smash Brothers, not Smash Brothers, sorry. Street Fighter.
I'm like, if you say Smash Brothers is in a positive light in the fighting game community, you're gonna get slapped.
I don't know.
I'm gonna absolutely airmail it to you.
Nearly 3,492 applications for Smash Brothers Ultimate compared to the 1,929.
The fan base is trash. I don't care about that. They're perverts and fucking pedos and
so
shit.
anyway,
they're trash.
My point is, I'm not gonna, and they smell as well. I'm not gonna deny that.
Oh, they do.
I wouldn't deny that. I'm just talking application.
And here's the thing: out of all those fighting games, do you know how many of them have an individual tournament in the top 100 for earnings? One. Street Fighter. That's it.
So
what individual Mortal Kombat tournament outside of Evo throughout the year do you hear about? You don't, because they don't fund things like that. Capcom does though. The Capcom Cup happens a lot because they want to be on Street Fighter's helmet and promote that. But I don't see a quarterly Smash tournament that's huge with a big prize because they just don't do it. They only show up at Evo. Hence why all the applications. Everybody wants to play this game professionally, but you only get one chance a year to do it. And
there's a couple. There's actually a couple. Mortal Kombat 11 tournament, tournament AT&T Annihilator Cup, Dragon Ball FighterZ tournament, BCN.
What year and what? Are they making the top 100? That same site you're looking at?
Hold on.
None of those games are on that top 100. They're not in the top 100.
Biggest fighting game tournaments of 2021. Street Fighter is number one. With okay. So here's the thing. Let me read off the numbers before you say anything. So this is in 2021. The tournament, Capcom Pro Tour 2020 season finale. Total watch time 428,826. The tournament AT&T Annihilator Cup for Mortal Kombat 11. Hours watched 397,434. And then... Oh, wait, hold up. Okay, so then we have Dragon Ball FighterZ Tournament BCN Ranking Battle, DBFZ number 1. Total hours watched 26,039. You're gonna fucking hate this one. Super Smash Brothers Ultimate Tournaments Smash Summit 11. Total hours watched 1,645,706.
Don't have a choice. Again, they only show up. What's the pool for that tournament? When you're starving, of course you're gonna sit there and watch it because all you got is Evo.
I'll see if I can.
You don't get constantly fed shit like Capcom does for their fighting game because they do it all year. Capcom Cup, Pro Tour, it's gonna happen.
What the fuck was? I didn't know about this one.
I think Nintendo didn't start doing theirs until last year.
Yeah, and they're still starving. Nintendo does. There's not no Nintendo host. Yeah, we're just gonna host a tournament every 2 months. They don't have that.
And because a long time Melee was the draw.
Exactly, and now it's finally dead.
Oh, okay. So as far as viewers, top 10 by peak viewers, and where's peak viewers? And as far as peak viewers, Mainstays 2021 Ultimate is number 1, and that was Super Smash Brothers. Second place was Smash Summit 11, with... Oh no, I apologize. No, that wasn't second. Second is the AT&T Annihilator Cup. That was Mortal Kombat. Then it was Smash Summit. And again, these are just peak viewers. You should keep that in mind. Then it was Smash Summit 11, which was two Smash tournaments in less. Were those Smash Tournament 11? When was that? Smash Tournament 11. Was that in 2021?
That was July 18th, 2021.
2021. So that's two Smash tournaments because I think
are those hosted and funded by Nintendo though? The answer to your question is a big nope.
Only one of them.
That's done by Beyond the Summit, which is not Nintendo.
Yeah, I know. I think one, but yeah, there's only one. They only do one.
So you're gonna have viewers when you only have one Nintendo-funded fucking thing because they don't feed y'all throughout the year. Of course, you're gonna get the views.
I'm curious. With PlayStation not owning Evo, do you think they're gonna let Super Smash continue on there?
Oh yeah, definitely.
Absolutely.
It's one of the biggest drawers.
Yeah,
it's money.
A huge draw.
Yeah, it's a huge draw.
You'd be throwing money away,
and then you could they get rid of the ones. Like that's the thing with Evo, they do get rid of the ones that are not the big draw.
They get rid of the bullshit that ain't really doing shit. Like Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite. Yeah. That was in like one. I think that was in like one. Like that was like a sad like wet fart. It's so sad.
I'm very fucking curious because I'm. Anyway, so I don't know. We deviated so goddamn far from the point. Which was Bungie acquiring fucking PlayStation acquiring Bungie. Fucking hell!
Look, we're team ADD, man. We just
no shit. Y'all need to get some fucking Ritalin. Y'all fucking need Ritalin is what you need. I'm just curious because I think there was a couple of years where I remember it was before Arcade Edition came out. I think Street Fighter got dropped from Evo as well, and I think it was either they replaced it with Third Strike or
they replaced it with an older game. I think MVC 2 might have came out. MVC 2 or 3 might have came out and
Real
gap
talk.
replaced by it.
Do you guys expect a partnership between PlayStation and Xbox?
No.
Because I do.
Well, I mean, if the communist invasion is real, as you say it is, sir, absolutely, because we free nations need to stand up against the Red Menace.
And an official partnership, no, but I think that there is a
A behind the scenes partnership.
I think that they are determined to keep the integrity of console gaming intact, and they are trying to keep outside forces from penetrating their
impeding.
market.
Exactly.
But
I
that's why I
think
said
that is the nice version of that phrase, Pharaoh. We just had this conversation with the older industry. I think they're trying to keep their. It might be beneficial to us. They're trying to keep their hold on the industry and make sure nobody else comes in. If that means
True.
partnering
Yeah,
with somebody
same.
who you have to go up against, but I don't like the idea of it framed as like we want to keep it pure. No, we just want to keep it.
No, they're not keeping it pure. They're keeping you out.
Yeah, they just want to keep you out.
We stomped out Google. We stomped out Stadia. Let's make sure that Apple doesn't get their chest big. Let's make sure that Amazon doesn't get their chest big and think that they're going to come in here and start dictating our industry that we built over the past 20 years.
Like we already have
we may
that.
be rivals, but we built this.
We already have that
So-
Chinese studio, Chinese company having more than 10 studios. Like, they need to watch out.
What, you mean Tencent?
Not Tencent, bigger than
You need to
Tencent.
find. You need to find
bigger
that name.
Tencent.
I mean, the Embracer group or anybody they want.
Brazer, I think Brazer.
They can come out with whatever they want. If they come out with a console, I mean, it's not. This isn't the '90s or the early 2000s where you can just drop a console and drop good games on it and you're good to go. Like, you need more than good games now. You need applications. You need a user interface that is user friendly. You need a store that customers will be happy with. It's so much more than just dropping a video game console and putting some good games on there and your console is successful. It's going to be really hard for someone to come into the console industry right now and just hit the ground rolling. Like, you're going to need to be willing to take massive losses to learn how to make it in the console industry.
Or you could just be Google and shit out one fucking product and then just fucking disappear into obscurity because you shit at what you do.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. You're gonna flop. You got to be willing to fail to come to this gaming industry right now, because if you've never done it before,
It'll eat you alive.
It's gonna be some work. It's not for the faint of heart. We are very demanding as consumers when it comes to and we're not forgiving. If your product ain't hitting on the first one, we're not coming back. We'll forgive you if the first product hits. If the second product is bad, but the first one hit, and you come up with the third one, we'll give you the benefit of a doubt, like we did with Xbox One, Xbox 360 hit. Kind of, they flopped a bit with, towards the end with the Red Ring of Death and everything.
I thought that was at the beginning. No, that was at the beginning, and then they fixed it by revising the goddamn console itself twice.
Yes.
Well, 3 times.
So, we were forgiving because Xbox gave us good along the way. But you can't come out and flop, out the gate and expect gamers to be giving. Like, look at Stadia. Stadia didn't launch particularly horribly, but they weren't great either. Gamers weren't forgiving. And look at it.
Alright, and now for my thoughts, back onto the actual topic. I think Bungie's acquisition is an interesting one. If there's one thing about Bungie that I feel they'll benefit from this partnership, and this is an absolute fact, they're gonna get some fucking management help. Like, Jesus Christ, because Bungie, like, you just need to look at the life cycle of Destiny 2. And some
You
of the
mean they're
shit.
gonna fire people?
No, they're gonna get some
they're not firing nobody. They're operating independently. Nobody's getting fired.
No, they need they'll get help, because if you just look at the timeline of Destiny 2, one of the undeniable facts about Destiny 2 is their mishandling and absolute bollocks approach to a lot of situations. Not just limited to their community fucking responses, but also to fucking locking content away after releasing an expansion, I think it was, and a lot more. Like there was a lot of problems with Destiny behind the scenes and in front of the scenes that I feel will definitely be needed for this, or will definitely be aided in this acquisition. The other but what Sony will benefit, not just this, but Kofi's not here, so he can't back me up on this, but Sony is missing a good first-person shooter. That's what they're missing. You don't need Bungie to make it. You just need Bungie to tell another team and give them pointers. This is what you should do. And this is how you can do it. And if competently made, Sony could start a good first-person shooter franchise. If they want to go down that route. Because that's one thing that they're missing, is a good first-person shooter. And Bungie could help with the multiplayer. Like, there's nothing saying that Bungie can't fill a support role as well for the other studios that they have. Like, studio wants to bring out a single-player game, and they want to add multiplayer. Well, we'll ask Destiny to do that. We'll ask Bungie to do that because they know how to make a multiplayer game. We'll get Bungie on the multiplayer while you guys work on the story. Kind of like a Call of Duty thing where they've got one team on the story and one team on the multiplayer. Just hopefully more competently done. At least that's how I see it, this relationship possibly going. Honestly, I feel like that would be the best way to do it. But, ladies and gentlemen, I think we're done for today. I think we've exhausted this topic to hell and back, and even going to Buzz Lightyear and going to infinity and beyond on these fucking subjects.
True.
Jesus Christ.
I do want to close with just one sentence. Okay, this deal says it proves that Xbox was right about where the future was going as far as this games as a service subscriptions. Sony's trying to get in there before it's too late.
I'm not happy about games as live services.
You don't have to be happy about it, but that's what it is. Microsoft had the foresight, and people are going to jump on that.
Yeah,
it's gonna happen.
we're not launching you finished games. We're launching you services where we'll give you the game over time.
Exactly. I mean, it's not great, but you got to get in there.
But a lot of people can't handle the whole game all at once. So like they like it.
I don't. Oh God, I'm not gonna say. I'm ending this because I'm not having you fucking defend that shit.
Get to these outros. Don't go down that hole.
No, we're not going down that hole. No, Farrell, stop. I'm literally cutting you off because that we're not going down that fucking hole because that is just a fucking that ain't even a hot take. That's a hot fucking mess. So Zero, you know what, Farrell, give us your goddamn outro, Farrell.
It's your boy Pharaoh. You can find me on Twitch at LandaPharaoh, Facebook Pharaoh Bizarre, Twitter Pharaoh Bizarre, and YouTube Pharaoh Bizarre.
All right, cool. Jubei, where can people find you? Not on Twitter, apparently.
Yeah, I'll find you. Anyways, yeah, you can find me at Jubei X Sensei on gaming platforms, Jubei Sensei on YouTube, Instagram, everywhere else, and YouTube and Facebook, all that shit. You know where I'm at. I will be playing some more Pokemon, and I'll catch y'all next week.
And he be loving it. Omar, where can people find you?
People can find me on Twitter and Game Player every Saturday 5 p.m. into Starter. Yeah, we went back to Saturday because no one can. A few people couldn't make it Friday.
Yeah, look out for that time zone difference, man. And you can find me at Dante Crisis on Instagram and Twitter, and the Dante Crisis on Facebook. I'm on Twitter, YouTube, and DLive, Dante Crisis as well. Currently playing Shin Megami Tensei 5, GTA San Andreas, Chaos Mod. Kingdom Hearts on stream and Let's Plays of GTA 4 and Contra, Super C. Yeah, Super Contra right now. Zero, where can people find you as well? But more importantly, where can they find us?
Well, guys, it has been an extra long one today.
Really,
so of course, you can find me at 0x386, pretty much everywhere. I, like Jubei, will be playing Pokemon, or what's that drum game? Tatsu no Taijin?
Yes, I wish I had a drum peripheral. That shit's hard as fuck on the controller.
Yeah, it's impossible. But of course, as always, you can find us, Vitamin G, pretty much anywhere. I guess where most streaming things are. I'm sure we'll have our Netflix show dropping like in 2023, so you can catch that when that happens. But any and all podcasting channels, we will be there. Please, always, of course, even though we come here afterwards, we always separate. So find us at Jubei. He'll find you. So, know that. Please check out Dante's stream. Check out Game Slayer with Omar at 5 p.m., you said, on Saturday?
Yeah, 5 p.m., yeah.
5 p.m., so we're an hour moving up. Go stream with Pharaoh. Go translate with Kofi. And just go say mean things to FC when you get an opportunity to. That's always
Loan
fun.
him your kneecaps.
Yeah. But, guys, as always, appreciated. You literally could be doing anything else, but you decided to listen to this. And so I appreciate you and thank you.
Yes, and ladies and gentlemen, remember, keep it gaming. All right, we out of here. Peace.
I'm on the outside looking in, and I wanna be back on the inside. I don't wanna be left on the outside, all alone. All alone.
You rockin' with beats, discussing the heat in the streets. Take over the west and the east. I got what you need, a dose of this vitamin G. You rockin' with beats, discussing the heat in the streets. Take over the west.